Looks like we're live. You know the drill. I got to spread that link. Let me get Clint to link this link first, though, in case something happens. Looks like we'll have our brother Clint with us here tonight. Awesome news. I guess he's got the night off to spend. That's awesome. Or he worked earlier, I guess. All right, I got that link shared. Now let's see here. Oh, all right, we are live. Okay. Let me go back to comments. All right. Yeah, Clint Sue. All right. Yeah, now we got it. Good deal. All right, let me get them links shared before we say too much. Hope everybody's having a good Saturday and a good weekend. Doing pretty good here, I guess. I was talking to Clint just before we got on here. We every year around Christmas and January, hams go on sale here, and I say when I say sale, I mean like 29 cents a pound kind of deal. And I get these big 12, 13, 15 pound hams, like $5, $6, $8 each, depending on how big they're. And we freeze them. They're all, they're sugar cured, honey baked hams. And not the name brand, the honey baked ham, but they're a sugar cured ham. And so I freeze them. I got probably I got at least one for every month, so I probably have like 10 left. But that's like $40, $50, man. I get 10 hams, 10, 12 hams, and it's definitely a good cheap way to eat. We'll get like, I don't know, 5, 6 meals out of it and a few sandwiches. And it's good stuff, man. And it'll keep for, I don't know, I've eaten one maybe a couple of years old and it was still good, the way they're vacuum sealed and, naturally preserved. So, yeah, it's awesome. But anyway, Ann cooked one up. Well, we used to cook them up. Now we don't do it that way anymore. Used to, we'd cook the whole ham, but they're pre-cooked hams, And so I got the idea. I'm like, well, why in the hell are we cooking a ham and then, that's been pre-cooked and then heating it a bunch of times every time we eat some. So what we do now is we just cut the ham up and portion it all out and then cook it as we need it, right? That's a lot more efficient. Proven to be a lot more efficient. And I lost my place. It's hard for me to do two damn things at once. I can't. Hard for me to talk and post and think at the same time. Getting old sucks. Yes, it does. But I hope everybody's having a good weekend. And I wonder how many people going up to Dearborn, Michigan this week. I heard there's a bunch of people moving up there this week to promote the word of Christ, from what I hear. A bunch of Christians moving up that way. Just tell everybody be careful. Hope it's very peaceful. But at the same time, got to let our presence be known. We're not going to be walked all over. Just is. So I hope everybody has a good time this weekend. And spending time with family. And taking your grandchildren and children fishing. Which is I need to do that myself. I definitely need to do that myself. Need to get my combo license. Fishing and hunting. Might as well do it. Definitely want to take some time to do it. Hope our brother Roger has had a safe trip moving out there to. He's moving out to Arizona. Damn, it's hot out there. I know. I got several buddies that live out there, and 110, 115 degrees is a big no for me. Oh, they say it's a dry heat. Shit. Those that fucking oven I got up there, but that don't make it any more tolerable. Man, I just can't imagine it. Cannot imagine it. That's just too much heat for me. Oh, just plain. Damn it. Didn't even get traces in there. All right. That's where it stopped me the last time. All right. 8:15. So that's where it stopped me exactly the last time. So maybe they are putting harder limits on it now. May have to juggle around a few groups to accommodate for that. All right. Damn, everybody. What's going on, Spencer? Good to see you, brother. What's going on here? Hey, good to see you, man. Just got done talking with Clint on copper and corn. Decent first time. I haven't seen that. Who? I have to. Oh yeah, that's the one that does come on before me. I'm sure I forgot all about that. I gotta check that out. Yeah, that's good people. Cooper, Copper. Yeah, I read it right. Of course, Cooper makes the barrels and Copper makes the steels. So that's. Yep. So did you work earlier today? What's going on, Dexter? Good to see you, brother. Yeah, I'll have to catch it. I forgot all about it. I was sitting there eating dinner and watching her show. I didn't even get the notification from it. I'll have to definitely have to watch it. That might be it there. What's going on, Jane? Good to see you, brother. What's going on, happy hippie? Yeah, I'm another happy hippie. What's up, Curtis? Good to see you, brother. All the usual suspects. I'm going to have a drink early tonight. I ain't waiting for nobody to call shots. I need a freaking drink. I've been out doing a little gardening today and in the hot. Oh, let's see here. All right, I've been talking about having the proof Wes's down. Let's see, make sure this is. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Right. Yeah, definitely. Eyeball that should be about 100 proof right there. Maybe. I usually take a lot more care in proofing down than that. But I need a drink. Oh hell. I got a little too far. Yes, see. Nope, I didn't go too far. Damn. That was 140. Shit, with that, it's still 100 proof. That's about just right. Still got a little heat to it. That might have been more than 140. I don't know. I just put a lot of water on it and it's still. Man. Wes trying to kill me. No, he did tell me it straight off the tap. What's going on, Richard? I don't know, man. We just gonna sit here and talk about it, whatever. What's going on over there across the pond? How are things, man? Thanks for tuning in, DJ. Uncle Phil. All right. Worked until midnight last night and 3 hours sleep. Back at it this morning. Finally on plane back home. That's awesome, Gene. Yeah, man. That's tough, bro. I know how it works, man. A lot of people think when people work from home, they say, "Oh, he works from home. He's got it made. He's got it easy." You know, the worst thing working home is you end up working all the damn time. Because, well, if you like me and you like making money and like spending it, you just start thinking, man, every time you just watch a TV show or something, it's like, I'm wasting time. I'm wasting money. I could be at my desk making money right now. And you end up working like 16, 18-hour days, just sleeping and working is all you end up doing, man. I did that for quite a few years, just sleep and work until COVID, and I didn't have shit. But I was essential, so I didn't get any checks or anything like that because I was considered essential. So I didn't get any unemployment checks. I was self-employed. And I wasn't getting no business, so I just spent my savings. Looks like I trimmed my mustache too far. First time I seen it on the damn camera. I went to the dentist. I figured I better trim my mustache to see she could see my damn teeth. And might kiss me more, man. I guess kissing me is like kissing cousin It, man. It's just fur all the way down, He was on last week. Yeah, he was on. He jumped in here last week. He's taking care of things. He's got, he had his own health issues, but there's more other things going on at home, and he got to take care of family, and all we do is pray for him. Hope things work out good for a brother. What's going on, Wayne? Good to see you, brother. I'm scrolling down, but I saw you pop up on the screen there. No, Santa don't like the heat, man. I don't do well in heat. I'm too fat for that shit. I can't even wear my red suit when it gets hot, man. I don't like the heat. Getting out in that 90-degree weather gardening is all I need. I can't imagine 110 degrees. That's just crazy, man. What do you do when your AC goes out, man? It's just like, I know, speaking of which, the UK has had an unseasonably hot summer this year. I know, reading a lot of people over there passing away and having heat strokes and shit, man. It's got real hot over there. Unseasonable, probably set some records. So prayers for everybody over there. I guess it's started to get a little cooler, hopefully, over there. But yeah, they're not prepared for that kind of heat. They're not used to it. They don't usually get that hot there. Yeah, I don't like the trim on the mustache. It's too straight. I don't like it at all. I need to do better. I didn't do good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it. Yeah, I think last I heard he was gonna have some steel builders on. I'm definitely gonna. I think Bruiser and Jason Wade Harrell. I can't remember who all he said he's gonna have on, but yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it. Yeah, we talked about it at Maggie. Yep, I can't wait to watch it. And I hope he does good because it comes on like right before this one. So that's awesome too. So, maybe I can get in the habit of watching that one first. I think it comes on at 6. So start watching that one before this one comes on. What's going on, Mitch? Good to see you, brother. There, speak of the devil. Shots. All right, we'll take another one. I need it. Damn, I thought I was going to proof this down a little bit where I can deal with it, man. Shit, it might be still over 100. But it's on oak. Man, it's good. A lot more tolerable than it was, though. It was too much. Good to see you, brother. Hope things going well for you, bro. Moonshine is your favorite show? Yeah, it's a good show, man. I like watching it. I liked watching it. I don't get that channel now, but Oh, JB Wagon Maker used to post that on his group. Now I don't know. It's tough. I'll tell you, it's harder finding that show on YouTube. You watch about any other show, man. They watch that closely, man. They don't let people reproduce it and broadcast it and stuff. They watch that shit pretty tightly. But yeah, I try to pick it up when I can. I enjoy the show too. What's going on, Bill? How things going down there in Arkansas? Yeah, it just started. It just started this week. You want to set up a mini still? Well, don't make it too many. I'd say 10 to 15 gallons is a pretty good size setup. You can start with a keg. You don't have to buy any fancy high dollar anything. Uh, Let me show you some pictures here. I love showing pictures. Like the pictures. The picture's worth 1,000 words, what they say in it. And I can speak 1,000 words pretty damn quickly. But it saves me time. But yeah, you can get your little keg, beer keg, set you up a little still like that. About, well, unless you got put heating element ferrules in the bottom and get it reworked, you get a keg for about well over here about $35-$45 on Marketplace. Not sure over there how much a beer keg would cost, but I'd say you get one pretty cheaply. And you can buy these little columns fit right on it and set it on top of a turkey fryer, a little propane heat, and you'll have you a pretty good setup. These 35-45 bucks. You can get these columns for about 150. So for a couple $100, you can have your 15-gallon setup. And for a little bit more, I think these Vevers are like 240 or 250 now. So a little bit more, you could step up to a let me step up to what's called a Vever football steel. And they look like this right here. And you can see the cap on it, why we call it a football steel, because it's shaped like a football. The biggest advantage of this, other than everything here, is it comes complete, ready to go. You can even use this stainless pot as a fermenter, so it's got your little airlock on there that you can use if you want to ferment in here as well. But I will say, when you ferment this, you have to siphon off all the clears. You have to dump the grain bed out of the bottom and clean it up first. Don't try to distill what you got fermented, because you're going to scorch the hell out of whatever's on the bottom. But if you want to, you could, And stainless is a really good thing to ferment in. It's good and clean and hygienic and easy to clean and keep clean. The canister filter is okay on here. You can think good about a canister filter is it's enclosed, and you can control the flow rate going into it, and you can control the how you're condensing by that, and it doesn't overflow. Right? We know that in like an open flake, you can only pump it in as fast as you can drain it. That's why your drain should always be larger than your input, which it isn't on most setups. It's the same size. So, but your drain should always be much larger. So you want about 1.5 inch PVC drain back. And people say, oh, PVC is plastic. This is all water. This is all coolant. It doesn't come into contact with the alcohol. So this is on like a big flake that you have a worm in, right? So I have like 1.5 inch going out, 2-inch PVC, whatever, piped out right back to your tote or whatever whatever your coolant's in, and just to pump in. That way you can pump in faster and drain and get some more coolant, and you could control the distillate, because temperature. A lot of people talk about temperature, but the one temperature that you really want to control the most is your coolant temperature and the temperature of that drip coming off. Now you can control your temperature without a thermometer, just by gauging that drip, how it's coming off your worm or your condenser, whatever. So it's real important to try to keep your liquor, your condensate coming off there at about a 60 to 75 degree, especially on your final run. If it's stripping run, it's not as important, but you want to maintain and keep as much fats and keep the molecular structure, the flat fats and the alcohol in proportion and right. If you get it coming off too hot, a lot of times you'll get a separation that you don't want. But yeah, those are two pretty inexpensive setups that make it worth your trouble. You know, they're 5-gallon setups, and I know a lot of you out there have them, and it's a lot of work. You have to go through the same amount of work, literally, to get the pot out, to heat it up, to set all the equipment and the condensers and water and everything up, mashing in. I mean, it doesn't take that much more time and trouble to do a 20-gallon run as opposed to a 5 or 10-gallon run. You know, you're going to spend a little more time, grinding down the grain. Cook time's pretty much about the same. Got to boil water, a little bit more water, a little bit more time. That's about it. Distilling wise, these cook off at about the same rate as a 5-gallon. 5-gallon with little 1/2-inch lines on it, 5/8, or 3/8-inch lines to 1/2-inch lines, and on this still here, that's 1.5 inches coming off there. I'm sorry, 2.5 inches coming off the top of this pot. So that's a pretty good sized, that's a big difference between a 1/2 inch and a 2.5 inch, right? It's huge. So people say, oh, a 1/2 inch and 2.5, that's just 5 times. No, it's exponentially larger, man. It's like 20, times larger. That is a good question though. How much larger? We'll ask that. How much larger? I'm going to guess like 20. 25. I was guessing 20. It's actually 25 times larger. So that's considerable. And it's when you get it coming off like that, you've got less pressure, and less pressure in that pot allows you to control the temperature in that pot much easier. That's why your liquor coming out is not as hot. So the larger the pot, people say, oh, the bigger the pot, the smoother the liquor. It's not necessarily the larger the pot. It's that larger aperture where you've got your, the steam, coming off, the vapors coming off. It creates less back pressure. And less pressure in that pot means the temperature is easier to control. Once the pressure goes up, the temperature goes up proportionally. It's just physics. And being able to control that temperature much easier when you got that much larger aperture and less pressure to deal with. So less pressure, lower temperature, better. It's a lot better way to distill off. It's a lot less like a stripping run, right? What's going on, Stephen? The corn didn't look too good this year. Maybe next year, buddy. I tell you what, the spring it was cold, and then some people's getting more rain. It's just too much rain. I know the corn that we've been getting here has been all small ears, man. Mostly real small ears. Not wasn't real big at all, and a lot of people getting rot. Just the rain is either too much or not enough. So which zone were you in? So like everybody I've talked to is like got too much rain or not enough rain, and not a lot of in between. But I did know that most of the corn here been pretty small ears, man. But hopefully you're in a place where you can get you a second crop in. I know some places can grow 2 in a year. You got me, brother. I've been doing good. How about yourself? Hope you're having a good weekend. That's right. Yes, sir. Question. Best way to set up a mini still? I would highly recommend one of these, setting it up just like this, not necessarily that exact same column. Let me show you a picture of a pretty good column. They've got these on Amazon, eBay. I think Philbilly has them. Everybody's, pretty much carries them. This right here is 2-inch, and 2-inch will fit right on to a keg. You do have to have a special gasket for that. Phil Billy's got those too. But this column right here is around 150. You know, sometimes on Black Friday you can get them around 100, 110. But a lot of times, check the shipping. I saw it about a couple months ago, I guess it was, and I noticed that it was less than $100. I was like, wow, everybody needs to jump on this, man. It's the lowest price I've ever seen. And then I looked at the shipping, it was like 39, $49. I'm like, no, you got to look for the ones with free shipping and 129 to 50 range, somewhere in that range. But yeah, it's a good little setup. It's got a deflagrator on there right above his sight glass, you can see, and there's a little cutaway showing the copper mesh. Now I don't think it comes with copper mesh, but you can buy that. It will. In the bottom there is a gasket, you know, for the tri-clamp type gasket, and it's regular gasket. It's the trying to think of the Teflon. It's a Teflon, and not like the tape. It's the hard Teflon, the plastic, but it's got like a little line going across it, so it doesn't allow the copper mesh to slide down into the pot, so it holds it in there real well. But yeah, it's a really good setup. Let me get the I think it's on eBay and Amazon. Just look up Distillation Steel and try to find it. 129-ish, I think, is for the free shipping. PTFE. God, my mind, I couldn't think of it. I had to look it up. Teflon. It's a PTFE gasket. That's also Teflon for those that don't know, and for those that can't remember like me. But the PTFE is the way to go. Instead of the silicone, it's kind of like a plastic, but it's inert as everything. It won't break down over time. Heat will over time break down. Alan and I talked about this, and then a lot of his steels in different places that he's worked all use silicone. He's like, I talk about, has he noticed any breakdown? And just physical removal of the heads and stuff does wear and tear, but the heat and the ethanol and some probably ethyl acetate and acetone take a toll on it. But the PTFE will last forever. But he said those were like 8 to 10 years, and they were just needing replaced. So it's not that big a deal. But for situations like fitting it on a keg, you're probably going to want to use a silicone, right? Because it's going to have that bottom seal. This is a little harder. It's like a hard plastic. Great for ferrule, to ferrule combinations where you're just using a tri-clamp. You're going from a spool to a sight glass, or from the sight glass to the deflagrator, or to an elbow, or whatever. That PTFE is great. But going against the keg, my nose is itching like crazy. You want to use a silicone because it's gonna seal better, because that one side that goes against that keg is flat. It doesn't have that ridge going around it that fits into the groove on those spools for a tri-clamp. So it's going to be flat on one side, ridged on the other, and you want that flat side against that keg to seal well. And silicone is probably going to be your best thing there. But yeah, you can get a keg and one of these, for a couple $100, if you shop around, if you had to buy the keg with beer in it, it's probably going to cost you another $20, $30, but hey, you get to drink the beer. But that's probably the cheapest way to get into a decent size steel. Again, these used to be like 199, 219. I saw a bunch at Home Depot had them on Black Friday. Literally, Home Depot. These are water steels now. This is water. Yeah, this is for water, right? But yeah, they had them for like $150, so that was crazy cheap. I should have bought another one just to keep on hand, but hopefully they'll get that cheap again, and we can load up on them. But I think right now they're about $239, something like that, and still for an 18, that's 18 and a half gallons. So you can run about 15 in it, right? and get a pretty good, get a pretty decent yield from it. Running a 5, you're going to have to run it 3 times or 4, because you can't run 5 gallons in a 5-gallon still. So you're going to have to run 3.5, 4 gallons. You take 5 runs to do what this will do in 1. And this will be done in like an hour. You're getting a drip, and in 4.5 hours, you're out of the hearts into the tails. And if you want to run the tails out like I do, it's going to need another hour and a half, 2 hours. So in about 6 hours, you're done. And it's about the same in a 10-gallon still, right? So you're not really saving, a lot of the time wise. It's going to be about the same again, because that diameter being so much more, you're allowing it to push out more volume at the same time, right? So that's how I can keep up, and sometimes even shorter times in a smaller steel with that smaller. But the smaller ones run hotter because of that back pressure, so they run about the same time, but they're running hotter and to run the same times these are. So best of both. But yeah, that's the 2 cheapest ways to get into this with a decent volume. If you can afford a copper steel, a 20 gallon is going to cost you considerably more, but they're awesome. They're tough to keep clean and maintain, but they're the best. They're the best for a reason. And but unfortunately, copper is expensive right now, so that comes at a price. But that's the best way to set up a mini. Either one of these right now for the cheapest. Now, you did say the best way. Best way, of course, would be to go ahead and buy a 20-gallon copper steel, and spend about $1,500 to get you a copper steel, a copper thumper, and a copper worm and all that. 1,500, 2,000, and but that's not the cheapest, right? So if you mean cheapest being best, then this right here with one of these, or this right here. And another thing about this and the keg, at the top of this keg, again, that's a 2-inch ferrule. At the top of this, that's a 2.5-inch ferrule. You can get a little reducer to reduce down to 2. So you can add this right on top of this. So if you want to use a column and you want to run a deflegmator and you want to make vodka, you can set it right up on top of one of these, and you can do that. Benefits of stainless: it's real cheap, it's easy to clean, easy to keep clean. If you use the copper, you can use the copper inside this little football, right? So you can put that copper mesh inside this football and take out the sulfides. That's one of the big benefits of having the copper steel. A benefit, I shouldn't say. That's a benefit of having the copper steels, is it removes the sulfides. Copper steels also heat much more evenly and better, and distribute the heat more evenly. They're modular, again, like this, and the keg, they're going to be able to upgrade, get lots of different parts for. Really, the only downside to the copper is the cost and keeping them clean. But aside from that, they are, definitely the best way to go if you can afford it, for sure. Thinking about some post flavoring with some stuff I have. Thinking about mango. Not decided. Mango's awesome. Like I said, talking about last week, I got to find out what juice this was. It came in like a milk carton, the old paper cartons, like quart tall ones that we used to get, and I know it had like a mango, pear, pineapple. I can't remember it was like 3 or 4 different fruits in one. And it was at Farm to Bottle last year. I can't remember what it was. If anybody was at Farm to Bottle last year, remember when we were passing it around? I can't remember who had it. I'll have to ask Kenny Taylor. He might remember. But it was a combination of these juices, and man, it was so. I'd love just by that juice alone just to drink, because I drink a lot. I'm not alcohol. Been known to do that too, but I like. I always have me something to drink around me. I don't know. A lot of people say that's a sign of diabetes. It might be. I don't know. But I always done that since I was young. I always kept me a little moving mug or something, to hydrate. You got to hydrate, right? You got to hydrate. Man, that's good. I'm glad I put that oak on that, man. finished that up real nice. It was real good and sweet to begin with. It was just too high proof, but proofing it down and oaking it definitely helped. I like it. Old West makes pretty good stuff. But mango, I love mango. And I think this was like a mango, pear, pineapple, or guava. No, might have guava, kiwi, something might have been that. My mind, I can't. Maybe it was guava, kiwi, something pineapple, and not mango. I have to ask Kenny. He might remember. I can't. Oh yeah, if you put them in fresh stays, if you do stays like I was talking, and let me see if I got here. I thought I put them in a jar. Yeah, here we go. No. This is not getting enough color. Here, yeah, they're inside here. But you can see these staves. And basically, you just char them on all four, 6 sides. Right? So to the cube, you got 4 sides in each side. So I just get them vice grips, clip it, and some Gator vice grips. Take the map gas to it, any propane, whatever. And I shouldn't be using expensive map. I should be using cheap propane. But torch them good. And then just immediately douse them in some water and take them out. Just put that to fire because you want to torch them till they catch fire. You want to get a good gator back on them and get a good char, and then dip them in water, bring them out, let them dry, just throw them right in that liquor, man. And I'm telling you, they do a great job. Now the first time you use them, it's going to be like 4 or 5 hours, man. If you use a bunch of them, it'll color it up pretty good and give you a good flavor. Now, again, this isn't close to oak. This isn't close to a barrel for 4 years or whatever. Not even remotely, but it does add some flavor, and give it a little bit of a char. Not too much. It's not as good as what you're going to buy in the store or what you're going to get out of a big barrel or one of these stainless barrels over a long period of time. But it will give it that char, give it some flavor. And I think you get in the first time you use it, I think you get a little bit of that alcohol that was in there the last time, right? Especially if you get them pretty fresh. My buddy next door, again, he makes furniture with this stuff. He gets them pretty fresh, and sometimes they're still wet. He has to wait for them to dry, right? So you get it fresh like that, and you can possibly leach out a little liquor out of there as well. But it's not bad for those. I like it better than spirals, and but we're gonna have to try Big Beard and Steel Wheels. Let me get that. I'm gonna have to try this. I said I was gonna do it, and damn it, I get so much going on. I haven't had a chance to do it yet, but we're gonna try to steep with these. And this is Big Beard and Steel Wheel. You all know concentrated bourbon barrel steeping bags. And basically, you heat your liquor up and you put these steeping bags in there and let it steep for, I guess just watch it and check on it every 15, 30 minutes. I think a couple hours is what they say, and let it steep. And it steeps out some real good color and hopefully some good flavor. We'll have to check them out. But I'm not sure how many times you can use each pouch, but we'll check that out as well. Actually, I probably should. Well, I'll have to heat that up. Definitely want to heat it up before use, and that'll help activate it. So we'll definitely have to give her a shot and try her. Kind of like steeping some hot tea. But we'll definitely give that a shot here before too long and talk about it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Did that computer to start repeating and stuttering and damn, man, this looks bad. I might have to, Lord, I don't like that trim. Too straight. That's funny. Yeah, mango's always good. What's going on, Wayne? Hey, Joshua. Man, I'm behind. I saw Wayne comment. That's been 30 minutes ago. I saw him comment on the screen there. Hope you're doing well, brother. Hey, Josh, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Yeah, it is good to hear, brother. Oh, back's been worse. Having some colitis. Uh-oh. I had chronic colitis too, man. They had to take my gallbladder out. Is that what they talking about for you as well? I had to have my gallbladder removed. So I'm gallless. I have no gall. But yeah, they just went under my belly button, made a little incision, went in and pulled her out. You know, just day surgery. I didn't even know it. Oh, was Wayne on there too? Good. I didn't know who I was on there. I don't know if I'm gonna have to check it out. I was just we were chatting in Maggie about it. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll have to watch it. I didn't get a notification. I didn't hear nothing on my phone about it. Speaking of which, remember me when it's a little after 9 so I can finish sharing these out. Yeah, you better get taken care of, brother. Yeah, chronic colitis ain't nothing to fool with, bro. But I will say, after they work on your gallbladder, don't eat nothing real fatty. Give it some time to heal, because I didn't listen. And all right, you're gonna make me do that. 39 degrees. 102. Oh my God, that's hot, hot, hot for UK. Man, that's crazy. It's still hot there, man. That's hot. Yeah, London usually doesn't get like that. The weather patterns have changed a little bit. Climate change, I won't necessarily say global warming, because some places are getting cooler, but it's just a climate change, and climate's been changing since there's been climate, right? So you ain't been able to show the rig much love. I know how it feels, brother. Well, if it's green, if it ain't green, don't worry about it. Just take a look inside and see if you can see any green. If it probably not a bad idea to run some cheap vinegar, and water through it, or citric acids. It probably wouldn't hurt, because worm. A lot of times it's the worm. The pot's not so bad, but inside that worm where you can't see, is a lot of times when it's where you get a lot of that green. You definitely can't handle the green or the blue, folks. If you got a copper steel and you run it and it's coming out blue or green, don't try to save that. Don't try to rerun it. It's just, don't do it. It's not worth your health. It's not worth damaging your organs over. It's a slightly toxic oxide. It can not necessarily kill you, but it can fuck your organs up, and it's not good for your liver. It ain't good for your body. Just don't. It's just not worth it. Just chalk it off to a cleaning run. Now you can save it and make sure you exit out. Don't confuse it with some kind of post flavored brandy or blueberry, some shit. But you can save it and rerun it to help clean the steel. When you run a clean, you can use it as a cleaner. It's perfectly fine for cleaning countertops, cleaning glass top ovens, your reading glasses. It's perfectly fine for that. Windows, you can put it in a spray bottle and use it for cleaning. It's good for lighting your charcoal on your grill. No, that's not going to hurt you. But good as grass killer. Good to clean metal if you do welding. There's a lot of good uses for it. Don't just throw it away. There's a lot of good uses for it. Even mixing with glycerin, making a hand sanitizer, but probably need to rinse your hands. You don't want that green oxide. I don't know. Probably not good absorbing into your skin. Man, 99 that idea. Probably not good, but makes a fine cleaner. Yeah, carbochemical and alcoholic. Man, you can run some of these engines on it. So, sometimes you have to adjust your timing a little bit, but yeah, they did a little experience. I mean, there's dragsters that run on alcohol, right? That's ethanol. That's what they're running on. These alcohol dragsters. You have to tune them, but yeah, they can run hot and hard, man. Yeah, yeah. You wish. You better hope she never gets on here and starts reading these old podcasts, Penny. You in trouble if she does, brother. Citrus wouldn't hurt. I've been using BS lately. Works Poet God. I don't even begin to know what you just said. Yeah, I have to catch it. Backset. All right. All right. Yeah, backset's a good cleaner. It's good to keep backset too, because that's a good acidic cleaner, and it's good to run through your steel if you want to keep that backset and some of that blue liquor, Uh you just don't ever forget what it is, definitely mark it and don't try to rerun it and drink it or anything like that, or use it in a sour mash or anything like that. But yeah, it'd make a good cleaner with the alcohol and the acid for sure. It's cool and custom. A lot of people are against it. For me, it's okay. I personally wouldn't do it. I just improve it. And there's other ways that you can soften it and making it smoother. Using less sugar and doing an all grain is one way. Running it not as hard and probably bigger lines coming off your steel instead of that hotness I was talking about earlier. But the biggest issue with glycerin, and a lot of people have issue with it. Oh, it's a chemical, run a chemical on. Well, you're drinking a toxic, alcohol. So if your concern is about your body, you probably shouldn't be drinking in the first place, right? But glycerin gives you the run. So if you're having trouble getting a little constipated, there's your drink, right? So you can glycerin it up good and take you a few shots, and you'll be running for the bathroom, right? So get drunk on that glycerin shine, and next morning you'll be shitting fine. Maybe too well. You might be able to shit through the screen door, but it will give you the run, so don't use too much of it. I know there are some people out there that use it to smooth it out. I mean, there's a lot of ways to make your liquor smoother. And Amanda talked about one way not too long ago on one of her podcasts, talking about, out in Tennessee, they run it through a sugar maple charcoal made from sugar maple, and helps soften it up a little bit. Um, and sometimes just letting it air out, letting some of those higher volatiles evaporate off. Yes, you will lose some ethanol, but a lot of your higher volatiles will evaporate off quicker, and that'll help smoothing it out too. So there's lots of ways to smooth it other than just adding the glycerin. A lot of people hate it because it's just something you're adding. It's cheating, but they'd be surprised how many commercial outfits add that too to smoothing down their stuff. Yeah, I did, and yeah, in about 20 minutes. I need in about 15, 20 minutes. I appreciate you reminding me though, 'cause I forget everything. And that's damn, that is 20, 30 minutes ago. I'm way behind. Damn, I always get behind when Clint's on here, but when he's not on here, I guess I have to stay on my toes and get caught up. What's going on, Jailbreak? Good to see you, brother. I'm sorry I'm so late saying howdy. It's half hour ago, but good seeing you. Get thick like schnapps. Yeah, it will get thicker. Yeah, like I was saying, yeah, a lot of people consider it cheating, but it's funny. We're thinking the same. I'm just scrolling down to that. But yeah, it's the same as post flavoring. They'll give a good shit when they drink that glycerin, though, won't they? Awesome. There you go. Old Bruiser running for governor. What do you think about that? That's awesome. The best mash to use for a beginner. Well, the first time everybody recommends a sugar wash, just to get familiar with fermentation process, your stuff. But that's not the easiest because it tends to pH crash and things can go haywire pretty quickly. My old go-to was just cornmeal, sugar, and water, and that's worked pretty well for a mini moon and made okay. It's okay liquor. It's not the smoothest, with that sugar in there, but about pound of cornmeal, about a pound and a half of sugar, and a gallon of water, and you'll get about a 106.070, starting gravity out of that. You're not converting any of the sugars in the grain or none of that stuff. You're just making a flavored sugar shine essentially, but you'll get a little bit of corn flavor out of it, and it'll be a little better than a sugar shine, and it won't crash on you as bad. You got some nutrients in there, so it's not so bad. But that's probably what I'd start with: some cornmeal and sugar and then water. And the next time we can talk about converting your grains but running that first run just to kind of clean the still out, get familiar with things, making sure you don't have any leaks, getting rid of any issues or kinks and issues and making a good cheap run the first time because you don't want it's your first few times it's easy to mess up. You don't want to mess up running heirloom grains or blue agave or something expensive or honey, meads or anything expensive because you got a lot of money invested in that. So, just a little cornmeal, sugar, and water is about as cheap, as you can get. But once you do that a couple times, we're going to start talking about converting grains and getting all your sugar from the corn and from the grains that you use. And it's a lot smoother and cheaper. It's cheaper than buying the sugar. So. Well, it not only saves you a ton of cash, it makes you a ton of cash, right? So instead of proofing it down, you can add some flavors, you can stretch it out. Hell yeah, I know a lot of shiners back in the day used to put fruit in there. That used to be apples. Somebody gave me some, and back in the day, that's the way they do it. They put some peaches in there, or some grapes, or some apples, whatever, or pears, and you'd be surprised how much displacement that fruit adds in that jar. So it's a business thing, right? Yeah, I used to love that show. Yeah, 10 gallons. I would definitely not go any lower than 10. I think 15, 18 is a good place because you won't regret. You won't have regrets. You buy a 5 or a 10, it's like, man, I wish I'd have got a 20. I could be making about 3 or 4 gallons a run, instead of this gallon I'm getting there. Or some people buy these little air steels, and it's like I got a couple of shots out of all that work, and it's like, I mean, it's fun, it's novel, but let's be serious. If you're gonna go to the trouble, make it pay. What's going on, brother? Good to see you, Frank. What's going on, Joe? Good to see you, brother. Yeah, thin mash, I think, would be the way to go. That's just, cornmeal, sugar, and water. It's all you need. Pound of cornmeal, pound and a half sugar, and a gallon of water. That'll get you about a 106 to 70 range, and it's yeah. I was asking about pumpkin rum last week. That definitely. I think I tried some of Phil's, but I can't remember because I was drinking. But I know he made some. I just can't remember if I tried it or not because I'm always drunk up there. Frank's been busy, man. Let's see if I can show y'all. Let me see here. Damn, let's see. Yeah. Let me do a few screenshots here. I've been telling Frank I would, so I'm going to follow through on my promise because I keep my word. But I'm going to show y'all what Frank's been up to. I like to promote my brothers, man, and all their endeavors. So if y'all got anything going on that you selling or got going, let me know, and I'll help promote it. I know they won't want to. Am I going backwards or forward? Yeah, I see. I don't even remember seeing the damn desk, bro. But Frank's got some awesome shit. Wait till y'all see it. What he does. All right, let's see here. Make sure I got them on. Oh, hell, I didn't get them on. How do I miss these? Damn it, man. Some of these may but not be in order. How in the hell did I miss those? Okay. But I will show y'all what Frank does besides collision repair and custom work. Just a minute. I'll scroll through them all here. Okay, good deal. All right. Let me show y'all what Frank's been up to. I wish I could show them all in a little slideshow. We'll do one at a time. Let's see. Here we go. Now check this shit out. Where are we at? There we go. All right, here we are down there in Maggie Valley. Now, you can see a lot of front ends and quarter panels. What that is, shit, I have to scroll down every damn time. Is, now I know I made a screenshot out of every damn one of these, but it's a bar. So this is a bar made with a front end on it, or a bar have a front grill. And let's see here. Is that cool as shit or what? Let me see. Let me get this other one in here. Here's another one. Now, and here's inside the back of them. Let's see. Here you go. This is what it looks like from the other side. The bar, you know. So you got the quarter panel front side, and this is what's in the back. How cool is that? Now check this shit out. How about a desk made from staves? And this is the back of this. I think it's cool as fuck. So that's is that cool as shit or what? So that's the front of this desk, and that's the back of it right there. Now is that cool as hell or what? Man, that's awesome. But he does all kinds of stuff like that. And he also does a lot of custom car work and collision car work and stuff. He does awesome work. Got a 50-gallon copper pot. It's a lot different than a stainless 55 drum. Having trouble learning the difference in how it heats up totally. It is. The heat dissipation in copper, it spreads much better. So it's going to be a little different. There's a reason that some of your best chefs in the world love these copper pots, especially the bottom, and that's for heat transfer and how it can warm up in one spot but transfer that heat over a large area, whereas you'll get hot spots with stainless. So a lot of your better chefs try to combine that copper bottom with a stainless top, right? So you get that heat dissipation on the bottom of the pan, but you get the ease of cleaning in the top, right? Best of both worlds. Maybe we can get a copper bottom steel with a stainless side. That's going to be expensive, but that'd kind of be maybe the best of both worlds. That'd be pretty cool. A lot cheaper just to go one way or the other. Yeah, the Teflon's the way to go. But they're a little more expensive, and again, you definitely last longer. But if they get a nick in it, it's done. Whereas with silicone, you bump it against something hard and it'll just give and go. Sometimes it'll just give and a split. But with the plastic, you can actually nick it, right? So you have to be careful using it. But in that regard, it won't last as long if you're rough with your stuff. But if you place everything well and use it, it'll, as far as temperature and chemical wise, it'll last a lot longer than the silicone. Basically indefinite. It's just inert as hell. No problem, brother. Hey, that's what we're here for, man. But I highly recommend you getting a keg or that small bever if you can't afford the copper. If you can afford the copper, definitely go that route. But those little steels are those. It's a great place to start. Definitely a great place to start. But yeah, that's some awesome work Frank does, man. I've been promising him I'll show you all that. He does excellent work, and he set up again. He set up at Maggie. Here it is again. A lot of his stuff there, pretty nice stuff. But I have to say the desk probably my favorite, man. That's so badass. Yeah, 50 gallons does take a while to heat. If you had a couple of elements in there, it'd probably be pretty nice. It'd heat up quicker. But both of them be pretty nice. You'll see you'll learn the differences in the two. You'll see the heat dissipation and the flavor differences. Definitely will have a little better, smoother flavor. It removes those sulfites. But using the copper mesh in your steel with the stainless will definitely help. Do that as well. So yeah, it's let us know what you think. After you get a few months under running both, let us know what your thoughts are. For me, I love copper, and I'll probably go back to having one. But it's a chore to maintain. I don't know if I'm really wanting to dedicate that kind of time and effort to it, because it does require a lot more time and effort to maintain, but it is better. What's the largest steel used? Man, they've got huge steels, bro. I mean, they've got hundreds of gallons. They've got some thousands and thousands of gallon large in these big commercial outfits. But for hobby, you know, a lot of people consider 30 to 50 about the upper limits in a hobby, you know, still anything above that they consider more commercial oriented. I would argue that. I would say, you know, 50, 60, 70, even the 80s. Um, you know, just efficient. If you don't want to run as often, you want to run once a month or once a year or once every 6 months and get all the liquor you want. Put it in a barrel, right? So if you have a 55 barrel, you know, and you run 80, you know, a couple few runs, you can fill the barrel, right? So it's gonna, you know, if you got a 10-gallon still, it's gonna take forever to fill that 55, you know, that 53-gallon barrel. But if you just want to fill up a barrel and use it like in, you know, like in Missouri or somewhere like that, where it's legal to do 100 gallons per person per year. So you could, you know, fill up a barrel pretty quickly, you know, running a larger steel. So it just depends. It's all relative. But I would say, you know, for most people, you know, a 30 to 50 would be the upper limits, be considered a large steel for the hobby. Well, there you go. If you can get a keg free, buy that off eBay, Amazon, and you're ready to go. And then if you know anybody that can weld, you can have a ferrule welded into the side and you can go electric. That'll be something to build, right? That'd be something that you can start with this, use it on a propane burner. And let me show you. I guess I've got some pictures of some propane burners. Let me go back to that from screenshots. Let's see. I got some propane burners. Show you what you need off Amazon. It's called a banjo burner. And it's quite a bit better than the jet burners in that it doesn't. Oh, somebody was asking me earlier, what's a good pump to use, a submersible pump to use? That's it right there, Vivo Sun. These are about 20 some bucks on Amazon. I know some people in the marijuana industry, commercial and legal, and they swear by these things, man. They use them in their hydroponic setup, and they say these things can just sit and run, and they're sitting in nutrients and chemicals and stuff. And you can adjust the flow on the front end here. You can adjust the size of hose that you're going to run it into with the adapted set that comes with it. Last forever, man. These things last years in the hydroponics, and they run them 24/7, you know, for years, and with no issues. A little bit more than a cheap, you know, China pump, but until somebody buys them out and screws them up, they're one of the best for sure. Anyway, let me get back to where I was. I got sidetracked there when I saw that picture because somebody asked me and I wanted to show it so they'd know what I was talking about. Now you know. Here we go. Banjo burner. So this is a typical banjo burner, 20 psi regulator, but you can see all those little holes. It spreads the heat out over a large area. You'll have little flames coming up, and these things get hot as hell, man. It's like 200,000 BTU. So they get very, very hot. They'll boil your water very, very quickly. They're very efficient. They're good. Now, I had a buddy that used to use these, and well, I know everybody, I use them. Everybody's using them, but he just recently went to electric from using these, and he's like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "I never realized why my Shine Shack got so damn hot while I was running." He's like, "Now that I run the electric, it's like cold in here. It's like I got an air conditioner on because the electric doesn't kick out all these heat. This will kick out a lot of heat." So when I said efficient, I mean efficient as far as propane burners, but as far as utilization of energy, probably not very efficient because there's a lot of heat getting escaped. Whereas with an element inside that tank and all that electric, that heat goes directly to that, you know, to the liquid. There's very little, none waste, right? So, and electric's a lot cheaper. So it's definitely the way to go. But if you're going to go propane, this right here is the way to go. And you can, if you're handy, you can build your own stand. If not, they do come with a stand. These are about 30 to maybe 30 to 40. I know when I got mine, it was like $29. I got a couple of them, but that was years ago. They're probably $39, 40 something now, for just the burner and the hose. On a stand, a decent steel stand, I think they're closer to 100, you know, but that works great. And it's a lot better than like a turkey fryer. Turkey fries are great for boiling water. So if you got that turkey fryer burner and you got the stand, it's all knots lost. It's great for boiling your water, to cook your grains and to do all that. The biggest problem is when you want to run a steel, it focuses that heat on one spot and it tends to scorch, and it just is not so good. Some people will put a thin plate down there to kind of dissipate the heat, and that works, but then it becomes even more inefficient. So the jet burner is great though for boiling water, but this right here is the most efficient and probably the best way to go in propane. So there you go, DJ. Uncle Phil. Keg steel. Get you a column and then get you a burner, and you can probably rig you up a stand. I just set mine on bricks and then set my steel on blocks, or my butt pan, or what do you want to call it, my pot that I boil water with on the blocks, and that works well too. You can put bricks underneath it and adjust it up and down. Not the most efficient way to do it for sure. Best probably just to get the stand, or if you're handy, you got a little stick welder or something, you could get you some angle iron and make you a stand pretty cheap, and probably a lot sturdier than what you're going to get. What's going on, Mikey? Good to see you, brother. What's going on, guy? Good to see you, bro. And I'm behind. Lord, I'm behind. All right, let me get the rest of these links out. And I know somebody probably reminded me, but let me get those out real quickly. Oh, Lord. Let me get those out real quickly, and I'll be right back. It's not the same place it did last week, so nowhere to go. And I wish I could get more out originally. That's a big issue. Damn it. How do I skip over these, man? I'll tell you what, getting old suck. I can't see shit. I can't hear shit. Can't remember shit. It's bad. It's bad. My ears are going. My eyes are going. My brain's going. Damn. Yeah, something notification. And that's it. I think it's got them all. Good deal. All right, all the work's done. We're back to fun. Yeah. Yeah, I want to, Erica Ayers and I talked about a continuous steel, and he set up a small continuous setup in his shack years ago, and it was just a drip, right? And but that worked out pretty well, man. He dripped in from the top, and by the time the drip got down in the column, it was getting distilled back up, and the only thing that went all the way down to the bottom of the The column was the water and I guess tails, kind of tailsy water, and worked out pretty well, man. It was pretty cool. The old scientist, Eric Ayers, he's a good fella, man. He's gotten into other things now, man. He's into blacksmithing now. I guess he jumps from one hobby to the next. And I talk to him every once in a while. I guess he's into blacksmithing, but he still jumps in time to time. He's a good old shiner. Effluent, we know what you meant. Yeah, Clint's using his voice. That's how he gets these damn comments out quicker. I have to type and talk. But his autocorrect gets him every time. What's going on, Gip? Good to see you, brother. Here's old Cave Daddy. No favorite. I do love my corn liquor though. That's probably my favorite. Somebody's asking me earlier what my favorite was. It's bourbon, man. I'm a whiskey freak. I always have. I love it. That's why I don't even mind over oaked, quick age stuff. I love the char, the wood, the flavor. I love a good, bourbon much better. I highly prefer a good bourbon to to what I make. I mean, I don't make stuff that's better than the top shelf in the stores. I make stuff that's middle shelf. I put up against most of it, but I'm not going to be. I can't compete with 6-8 years in a barrel. I'm sorry. I'm not a wizard, right? But it's hard to compete with that. But I'll compete with anything that's been aged, much less. Scabies. So what you been up to, caveman? Autoerectile correctile dysfunction. There it is. Source of water. If you have good tap water and it's not heavily chlorinated isn't a problem because you can gas that off in a day or two. The chloramine is the issue. And of course, if you got iron in your water, that's a no bueno either. So a good distilled water or a good spring water, if you can get it, is fine. But either one of those works great. If you've got once you buy the still, you've got a distiller. But unless you run electric, or can do it on the stove top, it gets pretty inefficient. It is. It costs a lot to, just boil it off just to make your own distilled water. At least it does compared to what I can buy water from, at 20 some cents a gallon at the store. You bring your own jugs and it's cheap as dirt. It's just filtered. If you've got a special Brita filter on your tap at home, that's going to probably be okay. These motor home filters that remove a lot's fine. I will say if you use reverse osmosis, you're probably going to want to add some calcium back into your water because calcium is an essential, thing that you're going to need to for the fermentation and distillation or for the fermentation process. So, and there's ways to do that pretty easily. You can add some gypsum back in there. We use, calcium carbonate with the eggshells, right? Not eggshells, with the oyster shells. You can use eggshells with just calcium carbonate, but it's a hard process. You gotta heat those up and sterilize them and shit. No good. So we use the coral, right? And the oyster shells. And those are ground up and give you all the calcium you need. So if you can save some of that dust in the bottom, you can add that back to your water and that'll give you the calcium. It'll eventually absorb into the water. And then you want to get your, you want to use some citric acid to get your pH into the fives. That way you get good conversions, better conversions. That's one thing a lot of people forget to do when they boil their water to start their cook is to lower the pH, because a lot of times most people have a pH around neutral. Most of your water that comes off the tap is going to be pretty close to neutral. They don't want it acidic because they don't want it breaking down the iron in some of these houses that still have the galvanized pipes. And they don't want, too high pH because then it gets hard and gets built up, and it can cause issues in the lines as well with calcium buildup. So they try to keep it around as neutral as possible. If you live in Flint, Michigan or somewhere like that, probably don't want to use the tap water or in areas that have a lot of iron. But if you can get one of those filters and I know a lot of refrigerators, freezers have those filters built into them. Those do a pretty good job of removing most all your metals and chlorines. But still, you have the issue of chloramine to deal with. So if you're making a wine or a beer, I would definitely say use distilled water. But when you're distilling, you're not going to notice those nuances quite as much. I mean, if you've got that kind of palate, maybe some people can. Um, but you don't want to stress your yeast with a lot of chloramine either. So, but I would say if you have good, clean tap water, get you one of those. They've got these filters that you can add to your kitchen faucet. And, they do a pretty good job. These cartridge filters, those work pretty well. And the motorhome cartridges handle a little bit bigger volume. And I think they got some that you can put on the end of a garden hose if you wanted to go that route, But make sure it's a red garden hose, right? You gotta have that red garden hose, man. On 2 channels. Oh, watching on Facebook and YouTube. Goya may be. I'm glad you said that. It could very well be what it was. Man, I'm so far behind. Damn, bro. That's 30. Yeah, I'm staying 30 minutes behind consistency. Let me see what Goya. It could very well be. This came in a like a paper milk carton like the old days. But Goya does have a lot of interesting flavors. But this was a combo. I'm thinking it was kiwi. I can't remember. I have to look. I'll have to ask around. I'll find out though. But it was so good. I just like to have that juice alone because it was really good. Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah. Hit that like button. And if you ain't following, hit that follow button on YouTube and Facebook. It'll give you a notification, especially on YouTube. They're really good about sending notifications. Facebook's kind of hit and miss, but it'll let you know every time we go live. And especially on Field Billies, got a lot of old videos on there. All of our videos are on there all the way back. If you notice today, I started dating them, so I'm going to go back and start renaming a lot of the old ones and trying to sort them by date. That way we can kind of do year and episodes, and I can just go by date. So from now on, you'll see a date out next to it, so it'll be a lot easier to reference. And if I have special guests, then I'll add that to the title as well. Mike, I'm glad. Did you get a chance to see that video I posted? Let me see something. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Now, let me go to That's why I get behind looking all this stuff up, but that's all right. Then it helps. All right, let me scroll back here. It's a really good special. I don't know if I got it. I already did it. Thank you, Clint, for reminding me. But I just did that just a couple minutes ago. So we good, brother. All right, where is that vinegar special? I'm going to try to find the link and post it on here. Oh, there it is. Let's see if I can get this. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. If I'm not posting, let me turn this off so I don't have to hear it. All right, so do not go to this now and miss my damn podcast. But I'm gonna post this on there so y'all can check it out later. I know Mikey's gonna immediately go watch it. But this is the vinegar video that I posted in the DIY Shine and Steel Bending page, and that if y'all have interest in about the vinegar, it's excellent. It's really good to watch. It's very informative. I know a lot of people that been making shine for a little while now say, "Oh, I've never had anything turn to vinegar. Vinegar doesn't happen. It's this bullshit." And I don't listen to that. You don't need airlocks and all that silly shit. It's they haven't been doing it long. You know, they talk a big game, but they ain't done it long. Anybody that's done it long has had some of their mash or wine or something turn into vinegar. I have, and when I do, I just best thing you do is make. It's not bad. It's good for cooking, right? It's just not good for drinking anymore. So, and it's also good for other things. And that video will show you. It's a little bit long video to sit and watch on the podcast. We've watched some videos in the past that are 5 or 10 minutes. This one is a pretty long video, but it's let me see how many minutes it is for those that want to watch it. Let's see if there's a. Yeah, it's about 20 minutes. It's not too bad, but yeah, I don't want to watch it on here, but it's an excellent little video, and I know Mikey would definitely be interested in it. But season shiners, Alfredo, uh, Bamboo Shine Man, Alfredo, my buddy, had something that he was mashing in, got turned to vinegar, and he was asking me about it, and he's like, "What could have caused it?" Of course, he posted that, and everybody's coming up with all kinds of things, and it's like it's acetobacters. That's what does it. It's in a bacteria, and it's carried by fruit flies. It's naturally on a lot of fruits and stuff, but it's an acetobacter, and it's a precursor to acetic acid. And this bacteria is what forms to create a mother of vinegar, and it's like a SCOBY. And in your wines, if you let those fruit flies get to it, and it gets enough two things: oxygen and temperature, and a little bit of alcohol, and it will form, but it looks like a translucent pancake is about the best way to describe it. And it's a SCOBY. It's kind of like in your fermented tea, you develop this SCOBY just the same. And Mikey knows. I mean, he's very knowledgeable. Oh, yeah, there, Uncle Phil. All right, brother. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know, man. We can help you get ready. We're on here Tuesdays and Saturdays at 8 Eastern our time. So whatever this time is there, probably what 2 o'clock there. So whatever time it is there, you can catch us on Tuesdays and Saturdays. And if you got any questions, come talk to us. You need help getting your first mash going, we can help you, especially once you start doing grain conversions. But touch bases with us and let us know what's going on and ask any questions, and we can help you get started and going and make you happy, get your stuff turned out good. Yeah, it's getting hot everywhere. I was out there today gardening, boys. It's hot. It ain't 100 plus here though. Thank God. I think it's in the 90s today though. High 80s, low 90s. It was hot though. It was a little bit humid. We had a little bit of sun shower come through right at about the same damn time, which cooked me. Let's see what was our high for the day. Yeah, we got to 90 today. We got it 90. Oh no, it was 96 was the high. Yeah, it was. I didn't know it was 96. Holy shit. Tomorrow 92, Monday 87. That's better. Yeah, it's 96. Okay. No wonder I was so damn hot and wet, man. This shirt was soaking. No, this is a different shirt. I changed shirt. I had on an orange shirt and it was wet. But yeah, it's hot as hell. Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. I just come in and have me a shot of liquor and a little Coke Zero or a little raspberry lemonade. Shots, by the way. 9:30. It's definitely time for shots. I gotta get caught up. I'm getting there. No, I'm not. It's 9:30. 40 minutes by now. Holy shit, man. That's not good, bro. Man, at least you were in some place you could get some help. That's crazy, bro. That's not good. I'm glad you're better, brother. That is definitely not a good place. Well, at least, like I say, at least you had a radio and you could get some help. And did you just get it all removed, man? Get the appendix taken out too. Hell, might as well get your gonads removed, spayed and neutered, gallbladder. Just take every damn thing out. They wanted to take my appendix out, and I was like, well, does it need to be out? I mean, let's not take out anything it doesn't need to be. Probably should have, though. That way I don't have to worry about appendicitis. Oh, that sounds nice. Oh, wow. Damn, that's a big old plant, bro. My peppers felt like colitis. Yeah, that's what I had, chronic colitis. They had to take my gallbladder out. Hell, we were just talking about it. Was that you talking about that earlier? I think somebody else was mentioning it. Hell yeah, man. That's a nice pepper plant. I wish mine got that big. Of course, mine are in pots, right? So they're like in gallon and a half pots. Maybe if I put them in a bigger pot, they get bigger. But everything here is like a patio garden. I wish I had enough yard and lived out in the country where I could till it up. But I got a big old bucket farm. I tell you what's perfect. These plastic kitty litter tubs, not the ones with the handles, the yellow ones that have the lid and all. So they're perfect size. Drill holes in the bottom, the drain comes out. Put some rocks in the bottom and then fill them with dirt. They're perfect for tomatoes and peppers. They got little handles. You can slide them around. They're pretty rugged too. They're pretty thick. So I got the old ghetto farm out there, man. Little kitty litter tubs all along my little patio. It's funny. Yeah, it's Richard that was having that. Yeah, definitely want to show up for that. You definitely don't want a ruptured gallbladder or appendix. Yeah, you can take those peppers. That's basically how they make a certain spice. Was it cayenne? I think is it cayenne? They dry these peppers out and then grind them up. Paprika. That's what how they make paprika. Not maybe cayenne too, but paprika. Yeah, they take just regular bell peppers and just dry them out or poblanos. I guess you could make a really good paprika with a poblano, but dry these peppers out and just and get let them dry real dry and then grind them up. Yeah, awesome. So watch that video. That's so informative, and it talks about how in the old days the old vinegar was used medicinally, right? So it had a lot of purposes, and it talks about all the different uses, and it also talks about how today's vinegar is nothing like the old style, and in fact, today's vinegar is quite expensive. I'm pretty sure they make paprika by grinding those up. Let me see. Paprika is commonly made from mild varieties of Capsium annuum, which is a sweet bell pepper. Yeah, they dry them up. I watched a special on there. I wouldn't know. It was just the other day, and they dry these peppers up, and I think you can put them in the oven at like 110 or 20, some real low heat for a long period of time. And probably as hot as it is out here right now, you probably just put them in a pan or on your fucking car hood and do it. Uh, but yeah, let them dry out, and then they grind them up in like a little Vitamix grinder chopper thing, and make your own paprika. I always thought it came from something a little bit more um, unique as well. You know, something a little more exotic kind of plant or something. I never knew that. But yeah, they make it from just a regular bell peppers, and I could say making it from a poblano would probably make a much better paprika because those poblanos have so much better flavor. I'm actually gonna make some poblano paprika. Maybe we'll come out with a top shelf paprika and corner the world market on paprika. Man, that's some good shit. I love those poblanos. I didn't get any this year, so I'm not happy. I never eaten another cucumber. I don't know if y'all heard about it, but we bought some at Kroger, and I'm not blaming Kroger. We could have bought anywhere, but and Ann made some. She makes macaroni noodle salad, and pasta salad, and likes to put those cucumbers in it. And this shit tasted chemically. It tasted like herbicide. Yeah, I mean it was bad, bad, bad. And I mean these are cleaned, hand cleaned, chopped, peeled. The skin's gone, so this ain't nothing to do with not cleaning or nothing to do with all that. It had absorbed into this damn uh, cucumber, and it was wrong. It was spoiled. Poblano's the way to go, man. They're awesome, but it was horrible, man. I'm like, it's just toxic. I'm not. And then we ate one maybe a few weeks later, and it tasted fun, not as bad, but funny. And I'm like, never again. I mean, I'm not. I'll eat pickles, but just as far as raw cucumbers like that again, not happening, bro. What's going on in Iran? Damn, I didn't even know they were on the same internet as me. I guarantee you they probably don't let you make your own liquor there. I don't know. I could be wrong. But hello from America. I understand. I know a lot of people are down on Iran, but you can't blame the Iranians. You have to blame the regime because a lot of those people they lost their country in the 70s, you know. So I'm not sure if you're Persian or if you're Islamist, but hopefully a Persian. But yeah, they lost their country to them. They let them take over. That's what happens when they take the guns away. Anyway, we won't go there. Not going to go there. Not going to get political. Yeah, I've heard about that as well. On the cucumbers, cut the ends off. It wasn't just like a latexy, man. This was toxic. It was freaking. I know, you know, I've done enough gardening. I'm pretty sure that somehow it got sprayed, oversprayed, and maybe sat in some of those pesticides or herbicides. It was bad, bad, bad. But yeah, I've heard that you can cut the ends off and rub it, and it'll help draw out some of that white, you know, latex. But cool. Yeah, watch that. Watch that special, man. It's really good. And if you can, maybe if it's on Facebook only, I'm sure I can find another link to it. And in fact, let me find this right here. Well, now this comes from the Medieval Bakery, which has nothing to do with Facebook, but I don't think they have the. They are just talking about sourdough, and they don't have the video link in there. But I'm sure it's probably on YouTube as well. I'll try to find it for you if you dead set against going on Facebook. I'll try to find it for you. Yeah, Show was talking about that. Yeah, definitely, man. That's that worked out. Did you check out Phil's video? Phil Billy did a thing on pumpkin. I'm pretty sure I drank some up there on Independence Day, but I was drinking quite a bit, so I don't know. I got handed a lot of jars. Try this, try this. So I might have tried it. I think I might have tried it, but yeah, it's got to be kind of good. Be a good, definitely. Jim Basket. Yeah, don't use too much cinnamon. Nutmeg, don't use too much of that. It can bitter it. Um, yeah, go easy on the cinnamon and any cloves that you add. So I know those are pretty heavy. You know those flavor wise. Nutmeg will give you a little bit of bitterness, so don't use too much of it. But yeah, cinnamon and nutmeg would be definitely the way to go. Just try to underdo it, and then maybe next time add more if it's not enough, because yeah, it's tough to. It's easy to add more, but it's hard to take away. Right? Kind of like cooking a steak. Can't uncook it. Yeah, you got to keep them hydrated pretty well, but chickens love that shit, man. If you got any chickens running around and you want to, you know, feed them, you can start you do it like sod, you know, like they sod, and feed them a roll of little immature wheats, you know, wheat sprouts. Man, they eat that shit up, bro. Yeah, he's got some good. He's got some good videos. They get a lot of pumpkins up there where he lives. They've got a lot of pumpkin farms. But you definitely want to do amylase as well, because there's some starches in there to be converted. So, you know, heat it up, gelatinize it. You know, you don't have to go to 195. like we do with corn, 185, 95, like we do with corn. You can go to about 160, 65. That'll kill off any wild yeast, any calm yeast, any of this other bacteria, a lot of the bacteria and stuff. Plus, it'll help gelatinize it. And then add your, I guess you probably have to go up to 185 if you're going to use the high temp alpha. But if you want to use the powdered, drop down to 155 and you can use your powdered. But yeah, if you're going to use high temp alpha, you'll have to take it to 185 to make it 80, 180, 85 to make it effective. Medieval Way, is that it? Cool. Yeah, Medieval Way. I'm thinking that's on Facebook though. Yeah, Medieval Way is a Facebook. I'm just wondering if they don't link to YouTube with this video. Let me see here. But yeah, that's their Facebook page. I don't think Mikey has Facebook. He hates Zuckerberg. He thinks Zuckerberg's Antichrist. Just kidding. He's giving him a hard time. But yeah, teach you how to milk a cow. There's a lot of good stuff on that site though. I like that site. But the vinegar video, and there's been some other videos on there that I enjoy too. But I posted that vinegar video hoping that people see it, will learn about it, and I did kind of forget where I was going, but a lot of people seem to think that it's like next to impossible to get vinegar, with your wines and stuff, and it's not. Alfredo got it. It's easy to get. It happened to me on a couple of occasions. It's hard. I guess Mike will tell you it's hard to get it if you want it, but if you don't, it's kind of easy. But letting fruit flies in will definitely help getting those acetobacters established. Oxygen, warmth and alcohol all help too. So definitely got to have all the above. You don't want to enclose it. That's why airlocking helps prevent it. But once you get it, you can just, you want it to be able to breathe, and it needs to get oxygen. So you can just put some cheesecloth over it to keep, more fruit flies from getting in there. You don't want to have a fruit farm with flies floating everywhere either. But yeah, it's definitely good. It's definitely medicinal. It's used in dressing cuts and healing, gut health. Helps introduce a lot of probiotics to your gut. A lot of uses, therapeutic and for medicinal, therapeutic and for cooking. So definitely was a huge thing back in the day. Vinegar was much more prevalent and much more important then than now. And it's probably one of the things we need to get back to for better gut health and better health in general. Well, I seen where Clint said good evening, Frank, but I didn't see where he said he's leaving. Have a good one, brother. Yeah, I wish I could have kept up. Sugar corn mash. Yeah, thin mash. Hopefully it'll come back in here Tuesday and we can talk in greater depth. I hate getting behind, damn it. Shit, I'm so far behind. Yeah, it's good to have old Clint back. Even if it's just for once. Damn sure glad you're here tonight, man. I got way behind. We've been busy tonight. Your channel? Oh, let me see. Did you post a link? Oh, you can't post links here. So if you tried, I probably can't see it. I've not seen the black Teflon. Yeah, I've not seen those. The ones I run are white. And I try to run all white. White Teflon. a little bit more. And when you buy stuff, they never send you the white Teflon. They send you the silicone every time you buy something. So you got to buy them special, and it costs a little bit more. But they last forever if you take care of them. Yeah, he's been missing MIA. Barkeeper's best friend. There you go. Hell yeah. That's awesome. Roy. Appreciate it, Clint. Oh, that's just regular Facebook post. Okay. Yeah, I'm way behind. Shit, I'm 40 minutes so now. And we're still talking about fucking propane when I said, holy shit, I'm so far behind. So I guess I'm going to probably, one thing I'm going to try to do is, talked about it. Clinton, I talked about it too. I might do some videos, just some how-to videos. So when we get new people on here, I can just refer them to me doing one long-winded video for beginners to get them going. And I don't mind repeating myself in here, over and over again, but I think it would be advantageous. I think it'd probably be definitely the way to go. Yeah, we were talking blue yeast in here Tuesday, Clint. But there was another yeast that we were talking about that's a little bit less expensive than the blue yeast, and they a lot of people preferred it over the blue. So Distillamax is what it was. Distillamax. There was a Distillamax version that a lot of people preferred. I can't believe I remember that. I remember that, but can't remember what a fucking funnel is, man. I don't know. Crazy. What's going on, Rodney? Good to see you, brother. I know I'm late. You probably come and gone. I hope you're still with us, brother. That's right. Yeah, they are, man. It's I'm not gonna blow smoke up anybody's ass and tell them I make top shelf liquor and it's better than any bourbon you can buy. I know there's a lot of bullshitters out there that say all that shit, and it's just, I don't know. I've tasted their liquor and it ain't. I'm sorry, and mine isn't either. But I still buy liquor from time to time because I like fine bourbon. And I can't make. I've never been patient enough to get a 53-gallon barrel, fill it up, and wait, 4 or 5 years. I've never been that patient. Maybe one of these days I will, but back in the days when I had enough to fill one of those, you didn't want it sitting around, right? You don't want to get caught with 30 gallons of moonshine. So, moonshiners, they don't leave that sitting around aging, right? As soon as that comes off the tap, the quicker they can get that to the bootlegger, the better. You don't want to keep it around to age it and watch it and sing to it and blow on it like a plant. It's get that shit out of here. That's one thing about growing weed, man. It takes a long time. You're there, with liquor, you run it. That day is boom, proof, out the door, right? Evidence gone. So that's but yeah, aging it in a barrel hadn't been something I've been willing to do for a long time, but I reckon I can now. And I've got some, I got some going. But I'm definitely in the next couple of weeks that once I get all this I've got going now and get everything taken care of. Hopefully before farm to bottle. If not, right when I get back, I'll start me a good grain. I haven't done a good grain mash in a while, and got some corn, some wheat, and some rye. barley, malted barley from the store malt. I didn't malt it. Then I need to run, and I got some 15 gallon barrels. I got a couple of 15s, and then some small, stainless barrels. Got a sand mow and a bad mow that I need to fill up. I don't have any of them hillbilly glass jar barrels yet. I need to get me one of them too, so I have one of all three of them. All three great people. I've met them all now. Oh yeah. No, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't, it just basically just dripped into the column, and you could control the drip, kind of like titrating it. And he and I worked on it. We talked about it a lot. It's something I've always dreamed of doing too. And we talked about it, and he put her into action, man. But I worried to death he's gonna burn that shack down. He'd leave and we tuned it up so good. He'd just leave the shack and leave it running, man. I was like, man, you're gonna come back and that whole shack's gonna be a fucking fireball. I just knew he was gonna burn that shack down, but he got lucky. I definitely wouldn't recommend anybody doing that. 50 pound of Hickory cream, awesome. Hell yeah. Yeah, that raisin bran, that's good. That's good nutrients, bro. I remember we talked about that. That's some of the best nutrients going. A lot of people don't realize it, but back in the day, and you don't have to have the raisin bran. The raisins add, a flavor and a softness to it that's good. But those bran flakes, man, if you can get some that are expired at the store, or, some store brand that's real cheap, grind those up. It's real good nutrients. And the good thing about it is you can't use too much, because if you use more than what it needs to eat, you're still contributing to flavor and you're adding a grain, right? So you're still getting, grain conversion. You're still, it's especially if you're using that yellow label yeast, that's something to think about. But you're getting really good flavor off of it as well. So it's not only giving nutrients, what doesn't get used as nutrients is adding to the flavor. And it's an old hack. It's back in the day, man. It was before really we even knew that we were giving it nutrients and using it as a nutrients. It just always worked out better when you added it, and that was why. You got better flavor with it, and it's because your yeast didn't stress from lack of nutrients, because a lot of times it's just corn, and corn alone doesn't have enough nutrients in it for itself. It's got some, but it's just not enough. And you add that to it, it gave it nutrients, it made it better, and it added that bran, that wheat flavor, because it's a wheat. It's that bran flakes made from wheat. It's just flake wheat, and it's been in the flaking process. It's been gelatinized already, so it's ready to convert. Hell yeah. Just a bunch of outlaws doing outlaw shit, man. I can't say that, man. I've never tried any hobby distillers. Now, unless it was, of course, aged in a barrel for 8 or 9 years. I'm sure there's some that's out there that are top shelf and some of the best. But I'm just saying, for most moonshiners that can't age for years and years, it's hard to you can't imitate that. Making good corn liquor and then putting it in a barrel for 9 years or 10 years or. I don't know, Clint. I've never seen any hobby distill that can touch some of the top shelf bourbons. I've had some good, you know, but nah, you know, no, none of them. And hobby wise, now unless you know somebody been in the hobby for 10, 15 years and they've got some, you know, that they've been sitting on an oak for, you know, 8 years or whatever, then yeah, maybe. But yeah, you can't imitate that barrel. You know, staves and spirals will only do so much, and it's just yeah. There's sugar in there. Definitely heard there's definitely sugar in there. Yeah, filters do work great, and I can't believe I'm that far behind. Damn, boys. I'm sorry. I'll try to do better. Now I'm just getting to the damn leak, the vinegar leak. I know you hate it, brother. Maybe go to somebody's house that has it, watch it or something, one of theirs or something. Yeah, most people do. You know, most people say, "Ah, vinegar, that's bullshit. That ain't none. I don't have to worry about that shit." Yeah, that you know, you've never had it happen until it happens. Then you've had it happen. And then you're like, "Oh shit." Then you get on here. What do I do? It's like, okay, save it for you. Save it for cooking because you know a good wine vinegar is great for cooking and you can let it continue and make good vinegar and it's good for healing, right? And watch the video. There's a lot of good stuff that you can do with it. Have a good one, Phil. Thanks for tuning in, brother. We'll see you on Tuesday. Yeah, just go watch it at some friend's house or get him to log on and watch it. It's 2:30 there. I thought it was about that. Yeah. And that's probably three now. That was half hour ago. Oh shit. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of rain too every day. Yeah, you've been Ohio through us and then down to you, brother. That's the way it's been going. Ohio's been getting flooding and storms. We've been getting flooding and storms. It we got a sun shower today, but that was it. I was looking for. I figured there'd be a rainbow somewhere. I didn't find it, but it started right when I wanted to go out and water the damn garden, and of course it didn't rain enough to water it, so I had to water it anyway. And I was trying to tie up my tomatoes too, so I'm out there, and I guess that's part of the reason I soak them wet. It wasn't all sweat, but yeah, felt actually kind of good. Yeah, it's 96 and humid. I didn't know. I didn't realize it was 96. I figured 89 to 91 or two, something like that. But yeah, it's 96. Yeah, just be glad you ain't in Arizona. 115. Yeah, that storm came through 2 days ago, blew all my tomatoes over a few days ago. It blew all my. It's Tuesday, yeah, because I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to do the podcast because all the damn storms coming through. My power went off Tuesday early, so it's Tuesday. Yeah, blew every damn one of my plants over, in the cat litter thing. So that's big old cat litter thing full of fucking dirt and a big 3 foot tomato plant coming up out of it with cages, you know. But now it's all anchored. I've got it anchored now. I got my metal stake post driven into the ground next to the patio, tied my cages to it to keep the wind from blowing them over, and then the tomatoes in front of that, I propped up off of that. But I'm still gonna have to do some more. But for those that didn't know, here's a good hack. Uh, Twine works good for tying up tomatoes, okay, but the twine where it touches the tomato usually leaves a mark and sometimes can eat into the tomato and it can be bad, harmful for it. An old hack my grandpa told me it was take pantyhose. After your woman uses it and he gets a run in it, she throws it away, don't want them anymore. But you can take those pantyhose and clip them, and you can wrap where they breathe. You can kind of wrap it around, like if one bends over and breaks, you can wrap it above that and support it, and it'll grow back real good. And that hose allows it to breathe. Get a life hack. Save the pantyhose. Some of you guys might wear them. I don't know. If you got no lady that wears them, that's even better. But yeah, they're good. They worked real well, and that's what I've been tying mine up with. I propped up the cages with the twine, but tying up the tomatoes and giving them support. Use those pantyhose and try it. You little chick, you learn from old Santa today, but that works real well. It doesn't bite into them at all. All right, brother. Thanks for tuning in. I know you probably landed on the cab by now, but hopefully you'll tune in Tuesday and we'll catch you again, brother. That's nice. Listen to us on the flight. That's pretty cool. People from all over, man. I love this show, man, and how the internet and all the different brothers we got from all over the place now. Getting bigger. It's getting bigger every show. So just keep getting the word out, sharing it, and keep helping people and then grow it. Yeah, it's either raining, flooding, or too damn hot. That's it. But I hope it stays nice for a while, because my basement floods, and it flooded last year, and I can't afford to go through that shit again, man. It was a nightmare. My elbow's just starting to feel better from it. I mean, Ann and I worked literally 40 some hours straight, wasn't it? 25. Yeah, 25 hours straight, and then just with a little rest and back at it again. 25 hours straight vacuum with wet dry vac. Man, my elbow, oh my God, it hurt for months. It hurt for months and months. But that's all I could do. I couldn't let everything in the basement ruin. I got too much shit down here, man. And hell yeah. Yeah, this makes good vinegar, man. It's the best vinegar in cooking. It's great for cooking too. And it's did Clint say he's leaving? Oh no, he's saying goodnight today. Okay. Night, Douglas. See you, brother. Right. I'd say yeah, smoked. That'd be pretty good. Anko chili powder. Is that what it is, Richard? That's cool. See, I didn't. I thought I had something fucking new. Now I realize I got Anko chili powder. Fuck. Man, I was going to corner the market on my new spice. Well, that's good, man. I love me some poblanos. I can imagine how good that is. You probably sell that shit. I'm sure. It's like saffron, man. It'd be like gold. Clint didn't say he's leaving, did he? Oh no, he's just saying. Oh, he's just saying about everybody that's leaving. I'm sorry, y'all. I need to try to keep up better. Hello, Miss Tammy. I'm sorry I'm behind, dear. I'm 30 minutes down. Hope you're having a good weekend. Old world yarrow. Now let me see what I've never done the yarrow. I mean, it could be made. They may make that as a paprika as well. I just remember from reading or watching this video, they were making. Now this is yellow, not yellow root, yellow flower paprika. Paprika yarrow. Yeah. Yes, they call it paprika yarrow. Interesting. So I guess they make paprika out all kinds of different shit. But they call that a paprika yarrow. A Chile milliforum foliarium paprika. Very interesting. And I thought it was from just peppers. Now I can't imagine a flowered paprika. That's awesome. Learn something every day. I had no idea. Now I guess that's a spice, different spice. Cool. I had no idea, but I did see him making it from bell peppers, and I thought I had something with poblano. I should have known they'd already done that. Damn it, Richard. I'm not. I don't think the old Persians were necessarily Muslims, but what's going on, Brian? How's it going, brother? Upper Michigan. How's it going, Vega? Thanks for joining us. So, for those who are tuning in and not been here before, welcome to the podcast. We do this on every Tuesday and Saturday night, 8 Eastern time. We talk about making beer, wine, distilling, and how to make paprika, and probably a lot of other things sometimes. But we try to avoid getting into politics and a bunch of bullshit that most other sites end up doing. So we try to avoid all the politics and religion and all that talk, and try to maintain the civility, and we don't have any agendas here or anything like that. So we try to keep that all out. Unless I get to drinking too hard, then I sometimes have a little trouble. But yeah, we try to keep it out because it's hard to go to a lot of discussions these days without it getting political. And I know there's a lot of things going on in the world, but we want this to be an escape where people can come in here and enjoy themselves, sit down, have a drink, and talk about something other than that. Because it seems, I mean, you can't on Facebook, you can't talk about your favorite milk cow without somebody bringing in politics, religion, and all the other world issues that we're having today. And we don't want to do that here. So we try to keep it clean and have a lot of good times. But yeah, no pesticides, herbicides, insecticides, none of that shit in my garden, man. None of it. The only thing I use is Miracle Grow, and I'll use a little bone meal, and I'll use some of my crushed oyster shells, calcium carbonate, and that's about it. But I don't use all that Seven Dust and all that other stuff. My grandpa used to use that stuff on a lot of. But I don't care. I don't care if my tomatoes have a little spot. I'll cut that shit out. I'm not going to put a bunch of pesticides on it. Well, they like so much heat, and then they don't. But yeah, like the blue yeast we were talking about, it prefers the heat. So and so does a lot of your bread yeast and your dairy yeast. They all like it warm in the 80s and 90s. But like your champagne yeast, and well, I don't know, EC1118 is a champagne yeast, and it has a really huge temperature range. But most of your wine and champagne yeast and stuff prefer 70s, 80s, not 90s. But that's why a lot of people say summertime is a good time to ferment tequila and some of these other you know save your fruits for fall, winter, early spring, and do your grains and your tequilas during the summer because you can your yeast prefer those temperatures. Got to work with it. Yeah, did you see the video where there's a new Rust-Oleum? Now, you didn't hear about that here, right? But there's a new Rust-Oleum reflective. It's clear, and just looking at your license plate, you can't see it, but to flock cameras, it makes it just appear perfectly white. I don't know. That's what I heard anyway, right? So if you're worried about that and you're an outlaw and you didn't hear it here. But yeah, it's some reflective clear. I can't remember what the number was though. Yeah. Mother blobby blob. Yeah. It's a SCOBY. Mother of vinegar. Yeah. Yeah, we all need more data centers, right? Because we want our electric bills to go up and our water bills to go up and ration water so they can use it to cool their systems. Yeah. I've been reading about some of the crazy shit that's going on with AI, and I'm afraid to say anything, man, because it's listening, right? That's crazy. Think of that way, but AI is awesome. It is wonderful. That's listening, man. It's crazy, but it's listening to everything said and done. Yeah, summertime. I was just talking about that, man. It's crazy how I scroll into this, and yeah, it is absolutely perfect time for it. And everybody thinks, oh, he read what I said and he's just repeating it. I'm just literally scrolling down, man. But yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. Summer is a time for shine and grain, man, for sure. And then in late fall, winter, spring, it's time for your brandies and wines, right? Absolutely. Is it on YouTube? Good. Yeah, I'm sure they got that video on there then somewhere. No, it ain't you, bro. I get long winded and I start looking and researching and doing shit. Try that. Yeah, the blue yeast is expensive, but the Distillamax, Clint, there's a Distillamax XL or something. I'm gonna find it. I think I saved that. I'll be damned. I'll find it. You wait, just see here. And it's I get behind, but I don't care. Um, yeah, now Saf Tech is the one that makes the blue, right? It's the same one that makes the red Saf, SAF. It's the same one that makes the good cheap all-purpose, the bread yeast. But Saf Tech Blue, they say Lalvin K1. Yeah, I was talking about that Lalvin. That's what I was talking about too. Lalvin K1 V116 is a good one too. But I'm looking for the Distillamax. And look here, as soon as I search that, Philbilly's Frito Bandito Tequila Recipe. That's cool shit. Um, but it's Saftec. And let's see if I can find the Distillamax that we were talking about. Let's see if either of these have it. There we go. Yep, Distillimax TQ. Some people say that's one of the best to use, and it's a lot less expensive. And let's see who makes it. It's a company that was very common that we all know. Gives it a floral note, I think, what they were saying. But yeah, they're saying the best two is, they're saying number one is Distillimax TQ, and it was 40 some bucks. Remember, we were talking 40 some bucks for a 500 gram brick, which was very reasonable. And then the Safe Tech Blue was closer to 90 bucks for that same 500 gram brick. But they're saying that the Distillimax is the best, and we're going to find out what company that was that makes it. Bear with me just a second here. I don't think it was on Amazon, though, so let me check that first. No. Let's do the Google on it. It was somebody. It was a common company that we all know. Lallemand. Lallemand makes it. That's a very, very well-known company. Lallemand. I know most people's heard of it before. But Distillimax TQ, the TQ for tequila, I guess. But it said it gives it a lot of fruity floral notes. And reasonably priced. From Mile High Distilling or direct from Distilling, Lallemand Distilling. They have an e-shop. I didn't know that. So you can buy, you can get it from them for 35 bucks. Not including tax and shipping, but that's even cheaper. So that's 500 gram brick. That's awesome. That's cheap. I know the blue is going to be 3 times that. The Safe Tech is going to be 3 times that. And for Mile High, it's probably going to be about 40 bucks. It's going to cost a little bit more. 45, yeah. So 500 gram is actually a pound and 2 ounces. So yeah, it's 45 bucks from Mile High Distilling. But you can order it directly from Lallemand. And I'm sure they're laughing. It's Lallemand or something. I don't know. La La Land. But it's pretty inexpensive. 35 bucks. That's very, very reasonable for what is most considered some of the best. Damn fruit fly right there, son of a bitch. There's a good indicator that you got some wine in your house, seeing fruit flies everywhere. Yeah, I don't know where that fruit fly came from. Yeah, ATF knocks at your door and fruit flies just fly out the door. Yeah, there's a good sign, ain't it? But Lallemand, damn it. Let me save that. I didn't last time. I'm buying that shit, right? Not right now, but I'm going to get me some of that. Yeah, AC 1118 prefers, high 60s, low 70s, but it has a range where it really doesn't stress and start producing off flavors into the 80s. But yeah, it definitely prefers high 60s, low 70s. It's a champagne yeast. Saccharomyces cerevisiae bayanus, ex-bayanus to be exact. Hornendal. Is that Quebec? Yeah, well, go in with somebody, Richard. Find somebody that's interested and go in on it, or just put it you can freeze it. Put it in a Ziploc bag and seal it up real good and put it in the freezer. It'll keep for years in the freezer. in a refrigerator. Now, I will say when you put it in the freezer, when you want to use it, you got to thaw it out. Like you got to give it days, right, to sit out and thaw out and really get good again and not dormant. But yeah, you can freeze it for years, bro. So, or just go in with somebody. Find somebody that's interested and go in with you. In fact, get up with me. You gonna be far in the bottle? We may just get us a pouch and we can go in halves on it. Because I won't need a big 500 gram. Trying to propagate it, and keep it alive be another wise thing to do, especially if you get some of that Safe Tech Blue. You definitely need to try to save that $100 almost for a 500 gram brick, but just 35 for 500 ain't bad. That's what I've been paid. That's what I paid for that yellow label, and close to what I paid for EC 1118. Ain't a lot cheaper than that for a 500 gram brick. Yeah, they make good barrel. They do. That's the only one I don't have though. I got the San Mo and the Bad Mo, but I don't have the Hillbilly Glass Mo. Uh-oh, you probably said that when it was. Now it is again. I guess I'm still half hour behind. Cheers. Boy, I'm glad I proofed that down. Now I can take big gulps and not little sippies. Man, I've worn the ball name off this jar, man. It's like smooth. It's a raised lettering. It's smooth. I've drank so much out of this damn jar. Worn it out. Yeah, I like the 9, the 9, 10, 12 years. But yeah, once it's been in too long, I think they tend to get too over oaked. I agree. But yeah, between maybe 7 and 12, some of the best. Oh man, I've had some so smooth. I could just sit and just drink and drink. It's dangerous. Wow, that's gotta suck. That hurts. Did it blow you pokeweed? Well, you wasn't growing that for anything, were you? They do, man. Yep. I don't know about putting them in my oyster shells. Now I ain't gonna distill with all that plastic and shit and all them resins. But yeah, I love they're great for holding up your tomatoes. Damn, I'm that far behind. But yeah, so that's an old wise old man trick. My grandpa taught me many, many moons ago. Use them pantyhose to hold up you. And you can just like go around it and hold up and support, especially branches that broke and bent over that you got to straighten up and fly right so they'll heal up. You use those hoses for that, and they work real, real well. You try tying it with twine and stuff, and it cuts into the plant, and it's not good for them. That's good to know. I didn't know that. Anko. That's good to hear. Yeah, I hope you're chilling after this hot day. Yeah, we're good to see old Clinton here. It's been a while. Every once in a while, he'll pop in for a comment or two while he's waiting on the next customer. But yeah, it's good to see our old boy in here. All right, Cave Daddy, good seeing you, brother. Yeah, it's getting about that time. It's 10:30. Yeah, I get in there having fun. It's shit. I go. Hell, I had a podcast that went till the next morning. Man, I had people hanging here with me all night. We podcasted till 7, 8, 9 the next morning. I was drunk as hell, having a good time. People woke up. They're like, "You still on here?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, get back on here and have a drink." That's funny as shit, man. Back in the day, though, that was a lot of fun. That's before we were basically. I guess that's before I was more Q&A. It was just pretty much just sitting around talking about the day's events and all that. We got a little bit more political then, but I'm gonna try my best to keep all that at bay. It's just not good. It's not. If you want to talk about that, there's definitely plenty of places to go talk about that. That's for sure. Worm castings are awesome. Yeah, I guess I use more than that. Osmocote. There's a bunch of other shit that I'll throw in there. I shouldn't say that I just use that, but regularly, yeah, just for my fertilizer, I use that Miracle Grow, and then that the copycat stuff you can get at Walmart. It's just as good. And bone meal, and then the oyster shells, calcium carbonate powder off those. I'll sprinkle in. The bone meal, like you really need to do it mid-season, like when you start getting spots. That's when you notice you got a calcium deficiency, and you really need to boost that up and phosphorus, and so that bone meal really helps for that. Right, exactly. Exactly. Farmhouse. Oh, interesting. Epsom salt. Yeah. Wood ash. Yeah. Yeah. Potassium, I reckon. Wood ash. Let me check that. Wood ash. I think it's potassium. Yeah. It's potassium and phosphorus. Wood ash has calcium carbonate too, which is about 25%. Good to know. And potassium and phosphorus and magnesium. Definitely good. Definitely good. Yeah, I could use a little bit of that actually. I need to get me some more bone meal. Won't be it far in the bottle. I'm getting a little bit caught up. I wish y'all would have. The Firm Solutions is good stuff, man. That firm believer. Get it? Firm believer, firm. Pun intended. Yeah, they make good stuff. Sure do, man. I need to put that to use soon. In fact. Oh, we got a question. Liquor keeps eating through the. Oh yeah, yeah, it will. Just try not to splash it around. Yeah, it eats through the coating on mine too, and makes them rust out. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Um, Not a lot you can do. I wish I had an answer for that. I mean that probably a good thing to come up with a silicone jar liner. Just to put in place of the metal lid, a silicone with a little metal insert inside of it with silicone on the outside. Hey, I'm just saying that might be the next thing out there, right? That's how my mind works. Maybe just take a regular cap and dip it in a food grade silicone, let it dry, and use that. There you go. Market that as a food safe because it does a lot. That does that to a lot of acidic foods as well. Over. Um, so a lot of like like I know in some of our salsas and stuff we use vinegar and tomato acid, and it's pretty acidic and it keeps for years, but at the same time it does that to the lids on some of the jars as well. So alcohol, I think it's better. It works better for acids like that than it does for esters, and it's probably not the ethanol. It's probably like I was talking about the ethyl acetate and acetones and acetaldehydes that are eating on that. So yeah, it might be a good idea to come out with a line of jar lid liners. Just a silicone, real thin film, just a real thin silicone film to just maybe stick to it and then use. Man, you could probably make $1,000,000 doing something like that, man. You never know. Some simple ideas like that can hell take that. What do they call them? The Shark Tank. Take it to them, by God, and they might buy that all idea off of you for $1,000,000. You got to share it with me though. 50-50, right? But yeah, the things like that, you never know, man. People that can and do a lot of canning, be buying the shit out of that. The yeast logs, yeah, I remember we talking about that. That's awesome, Richard. Richard Charlene got it going on, man. I wish I had y'all's energy and go get itness. I'm getting old and lazy. Hell yeah, man. Hope you kept up with my drinking though. I don't know. Have you been drinking with me? I ain't many can keep up with me. I'll tell you one person that can, old Wes. Old Sam man can put it away. That's one man that can sit beside me and drink till 4 or 5 in the morning, drink for drink. And I ain't seen too many people do that. I have to slow down though, man. My doctor's telling me if I don't, I'm gonna die. Guess we all die somehow. Rabbit, scat, yeah, bat guano. Bat guano. Did he, old Tom? Well, that's good to see he's good for something. Old Tom, he's good. Me and him locked horns a few occasions, but I love Tom. He's a good guy, man. He's had a lot of shit. He's gone through a lot of shit, man, with health and property fucking issues with his property and shit. But I do love my brother, man. We do lock horns because we're a lot alike, and that's what tends to happen when you put two alphas together. You end up shit like that happening. But I love him. He's a good feller at heart. He's been through a lot. Yeah, he's the same with bat guano. You gotta be careful using it; it'll burn that shit up. Yep, yep, yeah. Same with Epsom salt. You don't want to use too much of that either. Magnesium sulfate. Yeah, the potassium is in that ash. You get good potassium out of that potash. What's going on, John? Just getting in here right when we getting hammered and about to tune out, brother. Hope you're doing good. I had a buddy of mine named John Taylor. John Wayne Taylor was his name. He was a good friend, man. We used to party a lot. His old man owned strip clubs. We partied a lot. John Wayne did. He's a good fella. That's a good time. Is that a hazard? Yeah, there's a lot of people in survival that grow a lot of rabbits, and a lot of survivalists, off-grid livers that do the rabbit. The thing about it, you need to, if you're planning for survival and off-grid living and surviving in the really tough times, you need something that's going to give you fats. Rabbit meat ain't it, because you can eat rabbit meat till your brain just quits. You'll get your protein, you get the other things that you need, but there's not enough fat in it. So you need to. Rabbits are great. It's a great thing to grow, and they're easy to grow for meat. And I know a lot of people hate me for saying that because they love rabbits and they're furry and cute and all that. And that's fine, but so are pigs and cows too. But people get attached to animals and duck and everything else. They're all still good to eat, but you can't just eat rabbit. You got to have some source of fat to keep your mind going. You think if fats kept your mind going, I'd be a fucking genius. Teflon Leah, see, here's something else. God damn, they come up with everything, and all my ideas. I'm thinking just maybe a spray, like a silicone spray. You could spray on that lid and let it dry and use it, and it'd never have that happen. I'm gonna come up with that, man. I'm gonna be a billionaire. Yeah, me too, brother. I don't know, me too. It's all I can do sometimes. Get the yard mowed. They get that old riding mower running. Ann brought a riding mower with her, and I'm gonna have to get that thing going for too long. I don't know. I guess that push mower is about all the exercise I get anymore. That and walking up and down the aisles of the grocery store to get some food. Yeah, you get dragging in here late on Saturday night. I guess you've been out partying, burning the midnight oil. Hey, here's Mr. Thompson. I heard you had a good show tonight, brother. I'm gonna have to watch it as soon as mine's done. I'm glad you had a good show. Everybody on here was talking about it earlier, said it was awesome. Welcome to the Moonshine Podcast, man. The Militia Podcast Network. For those that haven't watched or haven't heard, David has a new show coming on Saturday nights at 6:00, I think it is, before this. So be sure to tune in, check it out. I know we had Wayne on there and maybe Bruiser and John Wayne, maybe Mr. Harrell, and who else? I'm gonna have to watch it to find out. I don't know. Who else? James Wade Harrell Jr. and or senior, and who Bruiser and Wayne. I don't know. Do you have a feel on there? Hell, I don't know. But I look forward to checking it out. So everybody, what's it called again? Advertise your shit, David. Put it out there, bro. Let me go look. Of course, it ain't on the damn calendar yet because we're still on July. Damon. And Tuesday's still empty too. I'll be damn. Damon, get busy, bro. I know you ain't got nothing else to do. Nothing. Just sit there and twiddle your thumbs all the time. You don't work and travel. Well, I see the intro coming soon, but I haven't seen. I don't know why in the hell I can't sort by time. I'm going to have to get into this and find out why. We need to be able to sort these links by the time they were posted, not the one that's posted the most recently. Here we go. Copper and Corn is the name of it. Copper and Corn. So those that haven't seen it, check it out. Copper and Corn looks like. Well, hell, he doesn't have any people I was talking about. All right, so y'all gonna have to check it out. But I think maybe the next time he's going to have more steel builders or something on there. You'll have to check it and see. But yeah, congratulations, brother. I heard it was a great show. And for those listening, check it out. Copper and Corn coming on at 6 o'clock on Eastern Time on Saturdays. And David, if you're not in DIY Shine and Steel Building, we need to get you over there, brother, so you can talk about your show and post it to there as well. We got about 20 or 30,000 people in there now, so we can increase your audience, brother. And congratulations. Let's see. Damn, I got a little bit of a lag. Oh, you're in there already. Good. I want to make sure you're in there. Hell, feel free to post your links there, brother. Yeah, go ahead and put them in there, man. Anything related to moonshine or liquid or off the grid living, feel free to post in that group. I just don't want political bullshit or, this is my, 5-bean soup recipe. I don't know. I guess that'd be pretty good too. But yeah, I don't want to get too far off topic, but any off the grid living, any kind of survival, any kind of steel building or moonshining or distilling, wine, beer, anything put in there. But definitely post your ads in there on Saturdays before you get ready to do your show if you want to, and tell everybody who's going to be on. What's going on, Keith? Good to see you, brother. Have you? Yeah, I'm working on it, brother. I'm definitely working on it. John Wayne Taylor from Kentucky, from same one I know. Dark hair, mustache, dark complected. That's awesome, man. He's a great guy, man. We had a lot of good times. I think Hazard, Knott County, where he spent most of his time. Hazard and Hyman. Yeah, it's yeah, the calcium is for the spot. I think the magnesium is for the blossom route. I might be wrong though. Yeah, copper and corn. Thank you, Richard. But definitely get in there, David, and post your stuff on there. I know you're a member in there, so I checked it out. So feel free to, brother. But I'll watch that either tonight or tomorrow. I might be a little bit inebriated. I think I'm gonna probably get off here shortly and play my game. It's gonna be hard for me to play once I get a little buzz on, man. My reflexes ain't what they need to be to do the shooting thing. But we'll get good and buttered so we don't get so mad. Yo, John Wayne Taylor's a good filler, man. Had a lot of good times. But answer, was it the one from Kentucky, from Hazard and Hyman area? Knott County, Perry County? Had a lot of wild times together. That's cool. Yeah, even if it isn't the same one, man, that's you don't see many John Wayne Taylors out there. But this one was chill as fuck, man. His old man had quite a bit of money, and he owned a few strip joints that we might have frequented often. I'm not going to say. We might have drank quite a bit of shine and done quite a bit of partying back in the day. For sure. Oh, Illinois. Yeah. Probably a different one then. Harrah's, huh? Casino. Yeah. I don't know. Hell, how long ago was it? I ain't seen no John Wayne in ages, man. Last time I saw him, he's about to get divorced and living in a trailer in Perry County. Hell, he always had good looking women on each arm though. Not that I didn't. Skillet nibbling. I tell you, Ann made me some chocolate chip cookies last night. This is getting about time to hit them too. Damn, I love me some homemade chocolate chip cookies, man. Yeah, I'd say it's a different John Wayne Taylor. I don't know. I ain't talked to him a long time. It's hard telling where he is. Yeah, it's hard telling. Though. He was a character. Party animal, though. We drank a lot of booze in our day, man. Tell me if y'all can hear this. Did you hear that? Do you hear music? Can y'all hear that? Well, somebody answer me. What's going on, Cal? Good to see you, brother. Oh, you can't hear it? Cool. I got this little soundboard for podcasting. It's actually for my gaming thing, but it's got all these different sounds. So when I do the streaming thing on the game, when somebody kills me and I think they're cheating, I can say, "What?" Yeah, it's funny. But yeah, it also has a mic input, and it adds some echo and some interesting sounds. I don't run my mic through it though. I run it through this Ampli game board here. I run it through this board. It's a pretty good board for surround sound, but it does have some custom sounds I can add to it. That'll be fun. We'll try it out sometime. But I'll tell you one thing it does is funny.
It makes my voice. It's got a voice changer, baby.
Is that funny as shit or what? It's got a lot of different voices though. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different voice changes. It's funny as shit. We're on a podcast with me and Phil and a few of us, and I did that little baby talk, man. It's funny as shit. When I laugh, man, it's funny as hell. Hell yeah. We're all here a little late tonight. I think we all might be drinking a little bit too. Good to see you, brother. I know a lot of you been lurking, listening. Summer sausage, and they're calling you. Oh man, that sounds good. Some cheese. Hell yeah. Is that deer sausage? I love me some summer sausage, deer sausage, man. That's some good shit. I ain't had that in a while. I need to go hunting this year. I ain't been in a few years. Yeah, that's what I've been drinking. Wes's apple brandy. I aged it and I proofed it down. God bless, it was too hot. It was 140, 50 proof at least. But we got it proofed down. It's good. I put it on smoke. It's pretty damn good. Oh, it's the store stuff. Yeah, I gotta get me some good. This outfit in Georgetown, I get dressed my deers out usually. I used to go hunting every year, and buddy of mine, well, ex buddy of mine, and I had a falling out over, of course, money. He fucked me over, but I used to hunt every year. He had some land up there, and I knew was a lot. He was from there, Scott County, and there was a lot of people up there, and we had a lot of different places we could go hunting on. It pissed them off. I'd always walk out there with a big 6-pointer, 8-pointer, something like that, and they couldn't even kill a doe. But he and I had a falling out. he was a drywaller, and he shafted me and on that and a few other things, and had a house I was flipping, and he was supposed to do the work, and end up I had to help and brought his son and everything else, and did about a half-assed job, and I ended up having to do the sanding and re puttying. He just basically bedded it in. I had to do everything else after that, and it wasn't good. Wasn't good. Building beehives, awesome, brother. But I'm definitely gonna have to find me a place to go hunting this year. I got some friends with land. I got some land in East Kentucky, but it's hard to hunt there. Yeah, actually, I'm testing it now. Let me sample it. We need to continue testing this. Sure, you brought that up. But yeah, this is it, and you can tell. Well, I drank a little bit more of the oat, but I'm going to put them together, and this is it alone, and a really good multigrain. Let me taste this. It's got some flavor notes that just the staves don't add. So I think combined, if you were to use that with staves, I think that's going to be the way to go. Alone, it doesn't give you that color, and it doesn't have some of the strong char oak that you can get with the staves. But with this alone, I'm getting some flavors that I'm not getting out of that, and I'm not sure if I'm not getting the flavors from this, because I've drank quite a bit tonight and I really can't drink. That's why when you drink, you always drink the good stuff first, and after you've had a few shots, then just put the good jar up and then go to the other stuff, because you're really not going to taste a lot. But I don't know if this has it, and I just can't taste it because of the char and the oak. But there's some notes in this that I'm getting that I don't get in this, and I think combined, really the best. It's called soluble oak. Let me show you. And I'm going to bring Cal. I'm going to bring Cal on and talk about it as soon as I get the gumption enough to actually contact the man and get him in. No. I'm going to fix this freaking camera. If my podcast ends, thanks for tuning in. But I keep saying I'm going to do this, and I haven't, so I'm going to try now. Yeah, that's Logitech. So let me go into the. Let me open that up. Logitech. Devices. Oops. I hit my head on the mic. Let's get that out of the way here. Let's see. Devices. No. Settings. Soluble oak. Anyway, that's what it says. But it's pretty good stuff. It just doesn't give the color and the char flavor. Like I was talking with Cal, I think if they could add some more tannins for color and char, I think it would be great as is for like a wine or a beer. And that's kind of their target market early was for that. And I think that's, great for that, to add that. If you like that bourbon barrel beer kind of thing, like me, that would definitely help. Added it to some wines to give it some character and interest. But I think for most whiskey drinkers and for most of us bourbon drinkers, we prefer to have some more color and a little more char flavor. So if they could do like a bourbon blend or Santa's blend like they're talking about, I think that'd be awesome. to give it a little bit more color and a little bit more char flavor, because I think that's pretty much all it's lacking. Because it adds some of the notes that you're looking for in an aged product, but it's just not giving the color and the char flavor that we like, right? So maybe, a different formulation for a whiskey bourbon versus a wine beer additive, because I know that for the wine and beer makers, color means nothing. Actually, it's imperative that you don't color or get milky, foggy, and maintain that clarity, which is good for whiskeys too. But dark, they don't need that dark. They don't care about the color darkness. But the flavor is there. It's got some good flavors and definitely interesting and something good to add. It's definitely a positive and a plus. But I think if they could add a little bit more char and color and richness, they definitely be onto something for the moonshine makers and for the quick aging crowd. Why is my settings in? Let's see. Well, this might be something yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I don't want to mess it up. But I got to get my camera has an option to do it forward or backwards, and you can read the letters that I hold up in front of you, and it reverses everything so you can read it, because it's kind of mirrored right now. It's called mirroring, and you read everything backwards. So I got to fix that. No, actually, it's fairly rapid. It takes about a day, maybe two, but it blended and esterified well instantly. Um, this took a couple of days. Actually, no, this was like a first oaking, so it was pretty quick. Actually, probably over oaked it a little bit, but I think together, I mixed them both together in a shot glass, and I like that better than either one individually for sure. If I were to pick one, I'm kind of leaning towards the char just because I love that oak and char so much. But I like what this is adding, the flavors that it's adding. So I think the two kind of combined would be kind of a marriage made in heaven. And also, for those that tuned in late, I've got a product from Big Beard and Steel Wheel that may pair well with this. It may make it obsolete. I don't know. But it's their steeping bags. And these are just, regular, like a tea bag, right? Exactly. So you can tea bag it, right? But anyway, so heat your liquor up. So you got to heat it up like a tea and drop these in like a hot tea and let it steep. And it's going to add the color and the flavor. So I've got a little bit of the clear left that I made with this and this. I've got another jar down here of the clear. So I'm going to add this to that clear, and then I'm going to kind of compare the three and then start blending and see what happens. So, but a lot of promise on this. And this is from Big Beard and Steel Wheel, and it's called Whiskey Bite Workshop. This new group they got concentrated bourbon barrel steeping bags, and this other soluble oak. So we're going to try to do the steeping bag, soluble oak, and staves, and do a little combo of each, and we're just going to find out. But I think that the combination of them all is probably going to. I love oak, and I love the char flavor. So I think this is missing some of that heavy char oak. And I know over oaking when I taste it, and I definitely did some over oaking on this. So it's not that great. If it had been a virgin oak and done it, it would probably have been worse. But because it was a used barrel, I'm leaching out some of the flavors from the liquor that was in here prior, which is pretty good. Why I recommend staves over spirals is because you're going to leach some of that good old. And this is I think this is Woodford, or I think Woodford is where these barrels are coming from. or Buffalo Trace. I'm sorry, Buffalo Trace, not Woodford. Buffalo Trace. So which of the two do you all prefer, Buffalo Trace or Woodford Reserve? I know the Woodford's a little more expensive. So which one do you all prefer between the two? If you've tried them, Buffalo Trace is where he gets these barrels. So it wasn't Woodford; it's Buffalo Trace. To me personally, I kind of like the Buffalo Trace a little better. I'm more of a wheat and less rye guy. Yeah, me too. Yeah. That's awesome, man. I love using staves, man. It's much better than the spirals. So we'll see how it compares. I think I think Big Beard and Steel Wheels that use the staves. I think they trim off the char, of course, and then use that inside that has the whiskey and stuff mixed. Like Carl was talking about how when you look at the oak, hey, you see that first quarter inch, it really is the penetration of the liquor. So I think Big Beard and Steel Wheel have kind of taken that and trimmed it and kind of, I don't know. I look forward to trying out their stuff. It has a lot of promise. And I like the way they you heat it up before you mix it like a hot tea. Um, I think you'll get a lot better steeping with that. You like the Woodford, so you like the rye. I like the sweet wheat. I'm more of a sweet wheat, sweeter, bourbon kind of guy. I love the wheated bourbons. I'm not saying Woodford's bad though. I love them both. I don't know. There's not a lot I don't like. Shit. I like them all, but I prefer the wheated as opposed to the higher ryes. I don't mind a little bit of rye. A mild rye is fine. 10, 12% is fine. But when they get 30, 40% rye and start getting real spicy, and yeah, I don't know. I don't like that. And some of the green label stuff, no. But I don't mind a little bit of rye. But once it gets to a pretty good percentage, I'd prefer a wheated, a little sweeter wheat. Yeah, me too, Richard. Good seeing you, brother. Yeah, it's a decent product. Phil Billy's got it on his site. It's interesting. It's worth a try, to see what you think about it. I think in the combination is where it's going to really work best. I think it fills in some of the voids that you can't get from just using the staves. I do prefer the staves. If I had to pick one, I'd pick the staves. If I had just to choose one, I'd pick the staves. But I think this adds some flavor notes that the staves don't give. So, in all fairness, I think the combination of the two would be the best. And if they reformulate or make a bourbon formula, I think that they'll knock it out of the park because it's just missing some of that color and char that us bourbon whiskey drinkers prefer. And if they can make a whiskey version, which would definitely be advantageous to them to make it to where it gave us a little more color and a little more depth and richness as far as char goes, I think it'll help them out. I think it'll do well. And he said that shouldn't be an issue. I think when they originally made it, because tannins generally add a little bit of bitterness, and we don't mind that. Um, Whereas wine, I had tannins to my wines, and we were talking about that, So I use chestnut tannins in my wines and some of my dark wines to add a tartness, bitterness, and give it some flavor depths. And a lot of winemakers will use tannins. It comes in a bag, and it's not wood at all. It's basically what they do is, now I'm not sure that 100% this is the process, but they basically leach all the tannins out of a wood with water, maybe even boiling it out of the wood. I don't know, but they get the tannins out of the water, out of the wood with water or with a solvent, and then they allow that solvent to evaporate. And what's left behind is a really fine, dry powder. And it's not like sawdust or anything like that. It's just a very, very aerosolized almost powder that they scrape, and it's a tannin. And well, of course, yeah, you want to start pulling out this high dollar stuff. I'm talking about just regular 20, 30, $40 barrel stuff, dollar stuff. But anyway, so they make these tannins that way, and you can add it to, of course, wines and stuff. And a lot of people don't really use it. Let me grab some. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Should really go to my little box of secrets there, but yeah, this is. I can't open it up because it's aerosolized, man. This shit you don't want to breathe it in. But it's called, this is Vintner's Wine Tannins. And you don't know, y'all can't read that shit. But it's Vintner's Best Wine Tannins. And this is, let me get my handy dandy magnifying glass. For white wines, quarter teaspoon per gallon. Red wine, third teaspoon. Fruit wines, half a teaspoon, which is about what I use. Now this is a chestnut wood tannin. And it's just a powder, very fine powder. And it's not a sawdust. So people, oh, you're putting sawdust. No, it's not sawdust. But they make this by leaching the tannins out of wood and then letting the solvent evaporate. And then the remaining powder is just pure tannins. And that shit, bitter as fuck, but it's really good for winemakers. And they also make oak tannins. But it is bitter, and that's why a lot of people don't use it. A lot of people in the moonshine industry probably never seen a lot of it because it's mostly in winemakers. And most distillers don't use it because they get that out of their barrels. But for winemakers and stuff that don't do their aging in barrels anymore, they're using this more and more. And it's a great product. But Vintners, they're good stuff. But yeah, it's a tannin that you can add, and it definitely gives you color, instant color. Yeah, I don't know, man. I watched a lot of TV shows, and even the closed captioning can't get it right. Yeah, that green label stuff, man. I don't know. You can have it, bro. I mean, I like a little bit of rye, I like a little bit of spice, but I don't like that being overwhelming. That's why I've never been a single malt kind of guy either, and a Scotch guy. I like my bourbons. I like a sweet bourbon. I know it might make me simple, but that's what I like. But anyway, y'all, it's after 11. Hell, it's 11:15. Anyway, it was great spending the night with y'all and having a good time getting drunk with you and chatting. Got had quite a few newcomers tonight. Had a few come in and ask questions. Hope we can get them back in here and help them out. And hope we got a few more distillers under our belt, future hobbyists. Maybe, who knows? Maybe they'll open a big distillery someday and talk about us. But anyway, we'll see you all Tuesday. Let's see what day that'll be. That'll be the 18th. Oh, Lord. We're just a couple of weeks away from farm to bottle, man. So that's coming up quick. We're going to have a good time. So in a couple of weeks, we won't be here on the 28th, 29th. Of course, that's going to be farm to bottle. But we will see you all back here on the 18th, 8 Eastern time. Until then, everybody have a great weekend. Shine on. Peace out. Love y'all. And we'll see you Tuesday.